Torc, the off-road championship, presented by AMSOIL, storms into mid-season after short-track mayhem and long-track flexing at Bark River. Kinks are worked out, trucks fine-tuned, and drivers recovered, just in time for the most punishing of all, the big dog of Crandon. This is the track where you prove your mettle, your worth, and your willingness to risk it all.
It takes more guts because you're taking a corner at 110 miles an hour, so it's a whole different game.
Crandon is home to the notorious Land Rush start.
Sitting on the line and looking out, and we're focusing on the start of this race.
And infamous Turn 1.
Crandon's mean for Turn 1. Every one of us are throwing the dice coming in that corner. It's the biggest race of chicken of your life.
As soon as that green flag flies, all that game plan just flies out the window.
Welcome to the nation's premier off-road racing series. Torc, the off-road championship, presented by AMSOIL.
Welcome everybody, we're here in Crandon, Wisconsin at the Crandon International Off-Road Raceway. It's the Big House Brawl here in the Northwoods of Wisconsin. I'm Scott Rain along with Robbie
Floyd. Yeah.
Floyd.
Yeah, I'm a rookie. I've been waiting to come to this event. It finally came. Round 7 and 8 of Torc the Off-Road Championship, and now it's time to see the big boys. Pro Light, Pro 2-wheel drive, Pro 4-wheel drive, and we'll throw in some super buggies as well throughout the day.
Yeah, it's been a great day of racing. We had the super stock out here earlier. The drama that was unfolding, the points chases, it's really cool. Only 3 races into the season for the sportsmen, but we're at the midway point for the pro, but already the sportsmen are counting their points. And but right now, it's everyone's tuned into the Pro Light. Kind of walking to the pit area a little bit last night and a little bit this morning. There's not a lot of tension. It's a very laid back, so far at this point of the weekend, it's been very laid back in the pits emotionally.
What you talking about, Willis? That's then. This is now. Now it's race time. They even qualified. They did all the stuff this morning, so they've had all this day to think about how they would set their truck up, what it's been like throughout the week when they tested. Now I'm sure the track looks different because it's much drier. The pressure starts feeding now. It's our first Land Rush start of the year as well. That'll be another focus point because what do they say? No matter what type of racing you're in, the first thing is to worry about the start, and it's going to be different than any other race that we've seen this season.
And there's a lot of new guys. We have 22 trucks in Pro Light this year, probably the largest field we've had here at Crandon in a long, long time. And there's a great shot of the crowd here. Fantastic weather. I don't think we could ask for anything better. If we didn't have, it's just a little bit on the windy side. Yeah, but if we didn't have that wind, I guarantee you what this Northwoods is known for is the mosquitoes.
It'll be toasty as well as some monster condor-sized mosquitoes as well. But
I saw a couple chasing some robins around the pit area earlier.
I thought when the cop pulled me over, the state trooper gave me a ticket yesterday, something flew in the window and I thought it was a bee. It wasn't. It was a mosquito.
That was your camera taking a selfie with the cop in the background.
Yes,
those cool-looking little lights.
Hey, yeah, great crowd here. This is the first of 2 Crandons, and you know, it had a good crowd at Bark River, very much like this one. It was an outdoor facility, not like the tight confines we were used to at the first 2 stops, but at Bark River, it was a good one. It kicked things off with the Pro Lights. Let's take a look at them from BR1.
Here's at the start, CJ Greaves, typically strong. Man, just all kinds of action. Greaves got in the back of Keegan Kincaid, which is very unusual. Greaves got the black flag.
Yes, he did. He dropped all the way back to around 13th place. It happened before the competition yellow. He got to restart, but way back in the pack. He worked his way up through the field. Watch what happened. I mean, we've seen contact throughout the race. Doug Matag showed that he was the fastest on day 1.
150 feet through the air right there.
That was a long jump downhill, crosswind, or it was a tailwind. You're seeing one lost tire, but Doug Matag was the quickest on day 1, but that's day 1. Day 2, different story.
Rolling start there at Bark River, and there's the green flag, and here's probably the heartbreaker moment. Luke Johnson with the hole shot, comes out of the turn, keeps going around, and goes all the way around. That hands it over for a moment to Brad Lovell, and here comes Matag one more time. Matag will take the lead.
Yeah, a little tag there on the inside from the 33 as well of CJ Greaves.
The top 3 guys in points right there.
Yeah, and they've been there the entire year. Every race, all 3 of them. And Doug Matag, he's our series points leader. You see the 7 in the picture. Keegan Kincaid was probably the fastest guy at any given moment during the weekend trying to get a win, but so was CJ Greaves.
Yeah, pretty much Keegan Kincaid. That day was all about him, and the big kid was on the top spot in the box again. Doug Matag right there, and here's our, there's our points. CJ Greaves 5 back. With all that action we've had in the first half of the season, only 5 points separating first and second, and then we go back 10 to Jarrett Brooks, Keegan Kincaid, and Brad Lovell. And ironically enough, we're only not quite the halfway point, but Brad Lovell's still in it with 60.
Yeah, Keegan Kincaid, you see him in 4th. He's building off of that Bark River #2. He won that, that second race. Where will he be today? CJ Greaves, we've seen Jarrett Brooks has been the fastest this year. He had a mechanical. It cost him at the last round. That dropped him back in points. But Doug Matag, he's been strong. CJ Greaves, this is an awesome race. We got all 3 guys within 15 points. Scott, we've been up here talking throughout the day in our sportsman class, but there's a lady we've been missing that hasn't got.
Finally!
Finally she shows
Let's
up.
Let's put her to work.
Taylor Snyder's down there trackside giving us a scoop. The 411 here at Crandon. What do you have for us, Taylor?
Thanks, guys. I'm down here, of course, on the starting line, one of the greatest starts in off-road history. And let's talk about our points leader, Doug Matag. Now, Doug is one of our West Coast racers, and you've got someone right behind him in points, CJ Greaves. Now, this is CJ's hometown track. This is his hometown fans, so it's definitely going to be a battle, and Doug is going to really have to hold on and push hard here at Crandon in order to stay in the top of that points championship.
Thanks a lot, Taylor. And looking at Doug Matag's results, 2, 5, 1, 2, 1, 3. Not outside the top 5, and only one of them outside the top 3.
Yeah, the kid is beyond his years in experience. He's beyond his years in I can see that, Dave. You just have to give it to me like this. I got it. But I mean, the experience the kid has at such a young age is phenomenal.
Look at CJ just behind another young kid. We'll see him in all 3 classes today if you're just joining us watching around the world. 3 different classes today, but look at his Pro Lights results. 1st, 3rd, 4th, 3rd, 3rd, 2nd. He hasn't finished outside the top 4. That's consistency. And then you look at Jarrett Brooks, who had the mechanical, dropped it back to 19th, but that kid hadn't even finished off the podium until that one thing. So that just shows you how tight these 3 guys have been all year up to this point. I don't expect anything different today.
Well, here's the thing we got to mention, too. We are witnesses to history today, this weekend. Everybody here on the hill, everybody here at the racetrack, everybody online, wherever you are across the globe watching us right now, you are a part of history. Never, ever before in short course off-road racing in any series, ever, has anybody run all 3 pro classes. Pro Light, Pro 2, Pro 4. It's never been done before. And the young kid is doing it this weekend, CJ Greaves. So that's going to be something to watch. And it's kind of really, it's neat to be a part of that, to be able to say you were there that day. So once again, we're just a moment away from the green flag. We are just a moment away once again. We'll be right back after this for the Pro Light race coming up next.
When adventure calls, count on the Trail Grappler to get you to your destination, wherever that may be. Large, innovative tread blocks provide additional biting edges to help you command the most challenging terrains as you discover new trails. The Trail Grappler's 3-ply sidewall and thick rubber construction aids puncture resistance and provides durability when you need it most. Nitto Trail Grappler, where road meets trail.
What is it that makes a Husqvarna dealer a Husqvarna dealer? Well, just look close at the engineering in our outdoor power equipment. We're known for high performance and reliability in everything we make. So is it any wonder your Husqvarna dealer is also known for high performance and reliability in everything they do. With a nationwide network of Husqvarna dealers, there's one just around the corner.
Welcome back here. We're looking at I guess the final seconds of the starting line here at Bark River International Off-Road Raceway. We see the cameras getting turned down or refocused. We see some of the crew members.
Are they checking GoPros in there? What
yeah, absolutely. That's a GoPro crew right there. Both trucks here, Brad Lovell and was that Jarrett Brooks? Yeah. Both checking out. One final thumbs up. Yeah, that's Scott O'Connor out of Las Vegas. He's our GoPro guru. All the really cool video footage that you see on YouTube and all that stuff, that's him. That's him doing all that work, all that stuff. So he's the guy. Brad Lovell, he's in the top 5, but he is easily the oldest guy of all of them out there. Let's see.
You have to be under 20, I think, to make a podium here. It seems like what it's been this year in the Pro Light class.
In the last year and a half, just about, yeah. And Brad Lovell was our class champion in 2012, I believe it was. Look at that. Now, if we can pan away from that shot a little bit further, whoever it is on the far right side, I believe he's actually outside the racetrack. if you know, as you're coming into turn 1.
The one closest to
Yeah.
the dump truck over
Yeah.
there. I don't know whoever it is, but I like the way it is. Put a little
Look
gap
at-
between himself.
I think that's Bobby Runyon Jr. that just went to the right side out of the screen. There's somebody, I believe, somebody just went to the right side of the screen off to the side.
I can imagine him going all the way over there. And you also, unless these are guys that are deep staging, you'd have guys who would rather be on the second row inside than all the way on the outside.
Yeah, you're talking a good probably 40, 50 feet longer starting line. And that, it's Cam Raymer. Is that Cam Raymer's?
Yes.
On the at the far left side of the screen.
No,
so
he's 21. This is a 22.
22, one of his teammates.
Who would that be?
Ian Harris. That's Ian Harris on the outside.
That's
so.
true. Yeah, so look at the guys
they're getting fired up,
who would want to be pushed to that outside. I was talking to Cam Reimers earlier. Yeah, he had the 6th pick, and he said that they picked from inside to out. He said on the inversion, he said if he would have got that inversion and he would have had to been the inside, that's not where he wanted to be. He said about 6 in, you know, you're kind of missing a lot of that hump. It could put you in that right spot. So you don't want to be too inside, too far outside. There's
Cowboy. We're getting close.
How do you get his name?
I don't know. Do you see something on top of his head? There's a story behind it. I just don't know what it is, but obviously it has something to do with the hat. But
I'm just still you said earlier, for those of you just joining us, that he's never tripped doing this before, and I think that's the bad mojo that you just threw his way. We'll see Cowboy with a one-handed double face-auger today before it's over with. I like that. Look, he's having to go all the way outside.
Ian Harris is way out there, and I believe there's somebody outside of him even. Now, after years and years and years of starting, there's actually ruts. Just like a motocross starting line, there's ruts right at that point.
It's on. Look at him. Look at him.
Yeah, that's what Cowboy's known for right there. Here's our lineup. Here's our racers. Starting on the pole out of Colorado, Brad Lovell in the Nissan BFG AMSOIL Torchmate. Number 44, alongside of him, the number 77, Jarrett Brooks out of California, driving the Synergy Electric Cooper tires, number 77. Keegan Kincaid starts 3rd, the Traxxas Cooper tires, CrandonOffroad.com, number 7. And our current points are Doug Matag in the 81 Ram, sponsored by Walker Evans Racing Cooper tires and custom off-road designs. Right alongside of him will be in the 5th spot, CJ Greaves. We have got Cam Ramers, Luke Johnson, Sean Morris, Mark Kleiman, Jesse Johnson, Bobby Runyon, Joe Sylvester, Travis Dinsmore, Scott Beauchamp, Cody Kleiman, Chris Bowser, Brian Osborne, Randy Eller, Nick Baumgartner, Andrew Costin, Tim Lover, and Ian Harris.
And I know Brad Lovell got the whole shot. There was no way you were going to get through that, but I think Lovell might have lost the position. Looks like Kincaid on the inside in the number 7.
If you're on the outside
looks like a rollover
of turn 1, we've got action in turn 1, incident in turn 1 at the start. 43 is reported to be Travis Dinsmore. Oh man, and his team owner rolled over 2 weeks ago in Bark River in practice, which pretty much ended his career.
Oh, Lovell again crossing up, heading towards that last turn. And I think he lost another position. CJ Greaves up into 2nd. Looks like Jared Brooks into 3rd. Brad Lovell drops back to 4th. Sean Morris in 5th. Matag back in 6th, followed by Luke Johnson.
And boy, I don't know if they put down enough water. There's a lot of dust this early in the race. And usually, boy, I can't believe I'm saying that, but yeah, I really don't think they put enough water down.
I don't care how much water you put in. It's a race, and it's a racing condition. Now you deal with it. You see water standing in this left-hand turn. Look at Keegan taking that deep outside line, trying to keep that momentum up. In the number 7, the Traxxas machine, trying to pick up right where he left off in Bark River with the win.
And look at the standings right now. Top 3 in points are top 3 on the track.
And don't count out Brad Lovell also. He had problems.
Travis Dinsmore, there's a live camera shot right now. Yellow flag is out coming into the Forest County.
What's happening there?
No, I believe it's yellow zone.
If it's a local, they're stopping.
No, you have to slow down, especially in turn 1.
They came to basically a compete stop right there. So
well, you got guys in the track with the yellow flag, and if they're like great base, in fact, it's Face Desney right there. When he's waving the yellow, you slow the hell down.
I've never seen anybody slow down quite like that before. It's almost going to be like a single file restart here as they come down the front.
Just about.
No, they are stopping.
Well, it's in turn 1. That's the biggest thing. It's in turn 1. So I looked down at the flag stand here. I didn't see a yellow.
I still don't see the full course yellow, but they're looking.
Oh, and look at here. We got somebody else. It looks like, is that Jesse? Yeah, Jesse Johnson. They got the fire extinguishers out on him.
Okay, so I don't see the full course waving yellows, but everybody's treating it as such. Would you say?
Right now, all the drivers have radio communication with the USAC official, the race caller. So it's a listen-only radio. So whatever USAC is telling them, they can only hear it. They can't talk back to USAC. So right now, I'm sure USAC is telling them what's going on and what to do.
So if that's the case and they didn't get that first lap in, they may go pull up to the starting line and do a full restart as well. So that
we
could
just
be
got
interesting.
reports.
We just have to get confirmation. It looks like that may be the case. So a full restart. So they're going to have to know what position they were in, how they line up and do this all over once again. And I don't think we got that. It was just out of camera range as we were following our leaders.
Yeah, too much happened in that first lap. You know, Travis Dinsmore turn 1.
And we'll have more cameras tomorrow as well, I believe, for the NBC show. We're running limited cameras today, I do believe, for our web show. So
It looked like Jesse Johnson had more than just a fire issue. Look at the right front. It looked like he may have did a little baby rollover. So we can get a closer look at.
And yes, I was told 2 more cameras tomorrow for the NBC
that makes it
show.
only sounds like 2, but it makes a ton of difference.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it looks like Jesse's on his way to the pits right now because he's passing a lot of the trucks on the track, and if he keeps going, no, maybe he's just taking his spot back. Well, we're doing a complete restart, so it's like the race never started, which is a tough break for Travis Dinsmore. But would that make it yellow flag conditions or red flag?
Red.
Okay, so that tells me.
That's what I'm saying. I had no problem with them throwing the yellow flag, but for the flaggers not to be doing something, it's one thing, but saying it's just uncommon to not see the rest of the flaggers on the same program.
Yeah.
And nothing against them, but if you are lost communication with your radio and you're hauling butane and you don't see a flag, that's why you usually back it up, and that's why I was unsure. So a full course caution can turn into that.
Well, the
red.
reason I asked is because right now you're telling me it's red flag.
Well, red
total
means
restart.
stop.
Well,
Right,
but my
on the
question
track?
is, like Travis, if he get to the hot pits,
He can restart.
can they touch his truck?
If they do a full...
No.
Oh,
Can they
yeah,
touch his truck right now?
Well, right now, yeah, I don't think there's been a start. So as far as I know, they probably would because there hasn't been an official start. Because if they're making them restart, there hasn't been a start. If they were doing some type of restart in a motion or a way like that, I bet you they haven't had yet an official start yet.
So we can see Richie leads the trucks all back up to the Potawatomi community starting line. We'll do a complete restart. Meanwhile, Travis Dinsmore is in the hot pits. He got pulled into the hot pits. He has a right front flat tire. My question is it okay for them to work on that truck? Can they touch it?
And that's probably the thing. I'd still love to see the flag color that came out because red means you can't work on vehicles generally. But if they just said full course caution, we're doing a full restart, then I would assume that he probably would because there's never been a start. Typically in all sport forms of racing, that's generally the case.
K pulls up alongside. Here comes Doug Matag, and Cowboy gets to do it all over again.
So this is more this is the lower level of our pro classes as far as dollars are spent. The engines, they're very similar machines, but are we seeing better horsepower out of the other ones, even though they're supposed to be running the same equipment?
Are you talking within this class?
I'm talking within this class. The guys that typically are out in front seem to get a good hole shot. And that's through the first turn. I'm not talking about position where you were.
Yeah. There's guys that have a larger budget than others, even though it's a standardized chassis. The suspension angles are. It's a standardized chassis, so everyone, the A-arms, everything have to be in the same place. The ride height has to fall within a parameter. The wheelbase, the front wheel width, it can't be any wider than, I don't know what it is, 87 inches or whatever it may be. So everybody has to fall within certain parameters, but the guys that don't have the budget can't replace like little things like rod ends after every race or after a weekend of racing. They keep going with what they have until something goes. Meanwhile, the guys with a bigger budget can just replace, even though it looks fine, you never know, they just replace it and put something brand new on. And all those little tiny things like that, the entire truck, little tiny things add up.
Yeah.
It's a sealed transmission, it's a sealed motor, you can't touch them. You can get them refreshed, but it has to be by an authorized USAC officiated.
Right, an approved
Yes,
guy.
exactly.
There's Jesse. He's able to line back up. We saw him dead in the water for just a moment. Jesse Johnson of 15.
There's Bobby Runyon.
So they did
Junior
not
pulling
lose
in.
their starting position, anything. So this is just like nothing had happened. They got a reconnaissance lap. They got a sight lap in.
a very quick one. So, you know, that's little things like you can tweak and play with. Some of the race teams, there was torque converters. They did tons and tons of testing with torque converters, and they had a larger budget so they could do that. And that really, believe it or not, played into the advantage of the teams that could test that. And you'd never know it, but some of the race teams are fairly new in the sport. So it's like when they want to test, they're so new they don't know what to test. What do we test? Tires? Do we test? I mean, how do we test tires? Grooving? Change grooving? Do we tire pressures? Do we test shocks? I mean, there's so many different things. You can just a little bit of time that you can prove that race truck. And it's not okay. We'll change tires, change shocks, change springs. You can't do that. You change one thing at a time. If it's better, great. You try testing something else. And if it's better, great. If not, then we go back to the original setting. And a lot of these guys with a bigger budget can just test and test and test and test. And they're the ones that are going to be 2 truck lengths ahead in turn 1 as compared to the guys that can't test. They'll be 2 truck lengths back.
You know what stinks for these guys?
And there's Travis Dinsmore back on the track.
Well, the
Nice
worst
job.
thing about the start is your vision. And they all say this is the worst on the start. Cam Rymer said he holds his hand up just for the little while on this start. While he's driving with one hand, he holds his hand up so he can see. I was talking, who did I talk to yesterday? Oh, when I was talking to Larry Pegger, remember, we'll see in the Super Buggy race. He was talking about how hard it was to see even at Bark River. These guys have tear-offs and set up for the start. You might have one that you just really prep. All right, it's my start tear-off. Once it's done, it's done. You might have roll-offs after that. It's nasty when you have all this build-up and you're about to have to do it again. And this is when you get the most, is those starts.
Well, some of the trucks, the guys are kind of ingenious the way they do some of the things. They've obviously got the heavy stainless steel gauge screen where a windshield would be in front of them. Then some of the guys that have a motocross type visor on their full face helmet, they take the visor off and mount that on their full face helmet. But then on top of that, they take a lens from a goggle and attach that to the end of that visor. So they kind of duck their head down a little bit and kind of look through that, through the top of their eyelids kind of. And then some actually have what, like in your street car or truck, you have that sun visor flip down thing. They even got, some of them have that on top of it. So when they get through turn 1 or through the muddy section of the track, they can flip it back up again. So there's a lot of really cool ingenious. Some guys have even taken that and mounted little chain links, about 10 links long, and welded them to the screen on the windshield.
Down.
So yeah, so
it
when
knocks it off.
It bangs that screen and keeps the mud clear of that screen.
There's Cowboy. We're getting ready to do his business again.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we saw Keegan Kincaid get the whole shot. Actually, it was Brad Lovell with the start, and Keegan took over the whole shot. But Keegan picking up again, like we said, where he left off at Bark River, where he won the second day of competition. But all that's for naught. Now it's time to do it one more time.
Cowboy's waiting for the go-ahead. There it is. He got the go-ahead from Face Desney. He's now going down. Now, right where he's running through, it's like ankle-deep rust, just like a motocross starting line, and he is... you got me thinking now.
Say it now.
He's never, ever tripped, ever. And he's been on camera doing this for TV shows and stuff for a long, long time, and he's never, ever done it.
Good job. He made it again. Oh, gosh.
There you go. He gave the signal to Fay. We're seconds away from the start.
Brad Lovell's on that inside. That's where he got a good start from the last time. We'll see it.
Well, up in the tower, they got, there we go. Green flag is underway. Here they come into Forest County. Potawatomi, turn 1, pro light coming your way.
I think Keegan got the best jump this way. This time, Lovell's going to be on the dead inside.
Look at the DOS being kicked up in row 2.
Lovell again. Kincaid on the outside. This is where he passed him the last time. Look at that. Keegan Kincaid on the throttle. Even better start than the first one. And did everybody make it through this time? They're still making it through.
There's guys that had to slow because they couldn't see their way through Forest County, Potawatomi, turn 1.
Oh, easy for you to say. But Keegan Kincaid's out in front. That tracks is number 7. Brad Lovell in second. CJ Greaves goes to the inside. Look at the slide job. CJ takes him up to the top. Did he take over position?
Yes, he has. He forced the issue. Brad Lovell tried to take it back, and Greaves took the line away.
But watch out, Jared Brooks now in 4th to 77, the fastest kid all year. Brooks not wasting any time on the inside. Looks like he might make a pass. He's dead next to Brad Lovell.
And we're talking about this could be desert dust racing conditions in certain spots of this racetrack. It is blinding. How about Jesse Johnson now running up in the 6th spot?
Doug Matag back in 5th. Jesse Johnson 6th. Luke Johnson in 7th. No relation.
Luke Johnson almost ran off the track just a moment ago, way up on the banking. The truck itself was sideways about 90 degrees, able to save and come back down.
So you see Kincaid, it's the second time they look at this. Is the first official lap that they're on, or trying to be on right now. Trying to make up ground in his season. It's been the Jarrett Brooks show for most of it, and then mechanical caused him. Now Doug Matag, the series points leader. Matag back in 5th. These top 5 guys are pretty tight. We will have that competition yellow. Don't forget, at the halfway point, we reset them the same order they're in when they cross that start-finish line.
Boy, I really like seeing Jesse Johnson run that far forward. All our top guys running around that Ponzi North American turn number 2. Keegan Kincaid still at the point. He tested quite a bit here in the last couple of weeks.
CJ looks kind of like a dirt track car, lifting that front wheel, inside wheel off the ground.
You know, there may be something to that as far as setup, because you watch the World of Outlaw sprint cars, World of Outlaw late models. Look at those late models. That left front, does it ever touch the ground?
Means you're hooking up.
Yeah.
You want it to steer like that. You want it to drive through it. It's a lot easier. The go-kart's opposite. It's the inside rear that lifts up. You need that to happen. Uh-oh, CJ Greaves has a problem. He's looked like he might have a loss of power. He's not really able to turn. Now he's got him fired back up again.
He's off the speed, though. He's well off.
I think he lost power altogether, and then he got him fired back up. He's back at 1, 2, 3.
There's something wrong with CJ, without a doubt. I think they run 2 magnetos where they can swap magnetos. If something turns off or shuts down, they can just flip the switch.
Right.
Here comes once again Keegan Kincaid through Forest County, Potawatomi turn 1. And Brad Lovell running in that 2nd spot.
No CJ. He's coming down the front straight now, but lost position to Doug Matag, so he's back at about 5th or 6th.
I'm going to go out on a limb.
See right there, it looks like he's losing something.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say he lost power steering.
Maybe. And that's why he wouldn't have been able to turn quite as good when it let go.
Because he's got fairly decent straightaway speed. Jesse Johnson just about goes over, but he ain't able to save it. Now you look at CJ, way to the outside, not able to. He doesn't seem to be turning right.
No, he's fighting. I think you may be right there. And that's the last thing you want, is to come in and turn even harder, knowing you can't turn it.
Jesse Johnson and battling right now with Sean Morris for a position. And we got 3 wide. CJ trying to stay out of the way. Here comes Luke Johnson. Now, is that Travis Dinsmore or who is he battling? It's hard to tell.
I don't know, but CJ is just a sitting duck. According to Mark Lyman goes by him.
Oh, Luke Johnson up on its 2 wheels again. Man, everybody's biking it in the Argonne corner.
A lot of people trying to get by CJ. Just that's not good. He's trying to salvage something, but right now he's just a moving chicane.
Sean Morris and Jesse Johnson heading down the long straightaway in turn 1. Right behind them was Nick Baumgartner. We failed to mention him a moment ago, that he's back in a pro light once again, running for Jeff Sleegers.
Right on the Sleeco Plastics number 12, Nick Baumgartner. But Kincaid in the 7, the fastest guy on the track. The track says Cooper Tires, CrandonOffroad.com. Something tells me you got to do good for the sponsor, CrandonOffroad.com, if you're going to get that sponsor again.
At one point, I think it was last year, even his dad was running CrandonOffroad.com as his only sponsor. So, yeah, they help their own here at in this area. So good for them.
I'm sure my buddy Pat Schutte put a thing or two on that website.
I see Blue Groove starting. We've got Blue Groove coming right around in here in that Parsons Chevrolet chicane.
You know what I say? Deal with it. It's just a track condition. And
what I tell you about that hole forming, it's getting bigger, right?
Oh, yeah. Now, you're right. Right, Blue Groove to hole.
Cam Ramers working his way around. He's just in front of Luke Johnson, and Luke Johnson right in front of Nick Baumgartner. Right, Joe Sylvester.
Luke had a spoiler on the back of his truck hanging off. He got so much body work starting to hang off the back into that. Looking for a little more downforce.
Whoa, do we see Brad Lovell kind of reeling in Kincaid a little bit coming to turn 1? We still have the competition yellow to come out. But it looks like Lovell has made up a lot of ground. It was 1.47 seconds back last time by the Amsoil finish line. We'll find out what it is this time.
And you know he's ready for a good finish, a 4th, a 12th, a 16th, 4th, 17th, 4th. So he's got 3 4ths, but 3 other events in the teams.
Yeah. He has not had a championship type of season that he needs. And I just can't believe, as much as I know Brad, that he's the old guy in the field right now. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Well, the young guy in the field that's racing 3 classes today is just struggling, getting a good hole shot and working his way back through the pack, and that's CJ Greaves, not inside the top 18 right now. And I would have to think you're right. The cross flag's about to come out here shortly. CJ probably did lose power steering, and you can only fight it so much. He's just looking for points.
And it's not like driving a car that back in the 60s and early 70s that there was no such thing as power steering.
No.
So it's just manual steering, I think it was called, if I remember right. I was too little to remember. I think it was manual steering.
This fights you.
This, yeah, there is. And sometimes if you rev it up, rev the motor, it helps. It kind of unsnaps the steering. It kind of gives it back to you for a moment so you can kind of get it. But you have to be going really high in the RPM, which means you have to be going pretty fast on the track. And yeah, it looks like Lovell may be catching Kincaid with competition yellow coming out this time by.
Is Kincaid pushing that hard, or is Lovell pushing that hard? I don't know. That'll be decided here when we reset them after the competition yellow.
The steering is, again, it's like instead of having a power steering box or power steering unit, it's a power ram. And it's actually 2 pivots that come out of a little box, and it's just...
There's Cam Reimers on the screen right there with Luke Johnson just behind him with that big spoiler. We talked to Cam, and he was happy with where he qualified, but right now he qualified 6th. He's currently in 7th. Looks like behind Jesse Johnson. I thought that was Luke Johnson earlier, but
you saw Scott Boshaw go by a moment ago in that Stewart Manufacturing entry, and there's a competition yellow coming out.
So Keegan Kincaid out in front of Brad Lovell, Jared Brooks, Doug McTagg, and
CJ
Sean
pulls
Morris.
into the hot pits.
All right, so he's pulled into the hot pits. He'll do some work on that truck, and we'll get back right after this.
Once again, welcome back. We're under yellow flag conditions. I should say competition yellow. CJ Greaves has had problems the last 2 laps before the flag.
All right, I'd love to see what they're putting on. I thought I saw a big band of some sort, so they're pulling in the pits to try and work on that truck. Now's the time to do it if you're going to do it. I mean,
he passed the pace truck to get into the pits to try to make up some time, and now the telltale sign is where they are on that truck and what are they working on. We should be able to tell if we go back to a live shot.
Let me get that great. You could pass the pace truck to get into the pits.
Oh, we got another truck pulling into the hot pits. Looks like a right front flat tire in the number 95.
That's Andrew Cossack out of on the Canati Ram. Canati Cyclo Next Gen Pyrotech Ram, and
oh no, and he's got one guy changing the tire, it looks like.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Oh wow.
You should say, come on, young lady, help me change this right front. Is it right front?
Yeah, right front. It looks like
There
somebody else is coming over to help
Here come
him
the
out.
cavalry.
Wow, one guy. Oh man. And that's my question. If we can take another live shot at CJ to see what's going on there, what part of the truck they're working on, it might give us a hint of what could be wrong. And oh wow, what's going on?
We are having a party in the pits is what's happening.
No, that's a party on the track.
No, they all line them up, and still now. I thought it was guys pulled in, working on it. So are they going to make them try and do something? Oh, no, we've got maybe a fire. So that's why they're holding the 58, and he's out of the truck. Not sure why everybody else Tim Limerandi. Is it Limerandi or Limerand?
Limerand, I believe.
Limerand looks like he might have a little fire going on or something. They're spraying it down.
Yeah, but why are the trucks stopped on the track?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Man, what? And it looks
Runyon
like
looks okay.
Well, that's Nick Baumgartner
Yeah.
losing a left rear fender.
Yeah, Baumgartner's got that whole left corner panel off. I believe the same thing with Luke Johnson. If you look up a few places further, Luke looked like he had a double spoiler on there.
I'd still like to see what's going on in the Greaves pit. And Osborne. Brian Osborne, very cool. Oh, there's CJ Greaves minus the front end.
I thought I saw something big and round, and I don't know what kind of band it would have been.
Like a belt, you mean, or what?
Maybe. Maybe it was a belt. Maybe it was a short belt. It looked like it was about 12, 14 inches. Maybe the power steering belt is about that round. Maybe
he threw off the serpentine or
would
something?
that not be great? It did not look like a serpentine. Maybe they have a single belt just for the pump itself so it doesn't take everything else out with it. If that's the case and they threw a belt on it, look at him make this turn. You'll know real quick.
Yeah,
he's steering. Dude, I bet you he threw a belt. Would that not be a miracle for him if he threw a belt, made the competition yellow, but he's got a long way to go and they're fired up. Oh, but they've got to take. Now they're taking the green. He's got to hope for another competition yellow.
Or a full course.
A full course yellow. We still got track workers trucks on the track right now, so I'm not sure. I mean, he was flying across. I don't know that he really knew that they were starting the race right then. So either way, King of Kincaid's out in front.
Man, from second on back, just look at the snoot full of dust that every truck. And again, Kincaid up on Luke Johnson up on two wheels.
And I don't know if Dad would be spotting for him today. Rick Johnson, his father's doing the color commentary tomorrow for the NBC Sports Network.
Oh, contact maybe between, it looked like, let's see.
Ponzi truck, isn't it?
Yeah, one of the Ponzi trucks and Nick Baumgartner. And I want to say that's Mark Kleiman.
Mark, yeah, probably, because he was in 9th, right around there with Cam Reimers and Nick Baumgartner.
42.
That's exactly right, Mark Kleiman.
Yeah, Mark Kleiman now had to wait until everyone passed him. You just can't pull out in the middle of the traffic.
So he went from 9th to about 20th.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that fast. So
Joe Sylvester now slowing.
All right, now let's see. Does Brad Love have anything for Keegan Kincaid? Jared Brooks, for that matter, he was in 3rd. He's been sneaky this year at times and just jump on you at the last minute, let things sort out. But we'll see if he can close in. But Brad Lovell has shown he had the speed, but was Keegan Kincaid holding back?
Have you known? Oh, Sean Morris coming through turn 1.
Oh, Jared Brooks getting passed.
Really, really loose coming through turn 1 and almost was pointed in the outside retaining wall.
Jared Brooks, I don't know if something's happened, but he's dropped back considerably. It looks like
he was running in 3rd.
Yeah, Luke Johnson maybe even closing in on him. I wonder if something happened with his truck, or did he just lose it for a bit?
Kincaid still maintains the same gap back for the lead, back to second with Brad Lovell. Matag running in 3rd. Sean Morris 4th. Luke Johnson in the top 5. Well, he needs a top 5 finish in the worst way right there, that kid.
And Matag, remember, your series points leader. He's in 3rd. His championship rival, CJ Greaves, is basically in last. Half a track behind. Jared Brooks is behind him as well. Brooks is now back in 6th. So Matag, another solid day, another podium if he stays where he's at right now. But Keegan Kincaid trying to make the most of this situation. And like you said, even though he's, 60 some odd points out of the points lead, don't count him out. We're just at the halfway point, basically.
Well, I think Brad Lovell may have something for Kincaid. The straightaway speed of Kincaid, I think, is what makes it for him, but then the cornering and the handling, I think, has to fall towards.
And that might be a tire selection.
Right now.
Tire selection, tire cut. Brad Lovell on the BFG Nissan. Kincaid on the Cooper tired Nissan.
So our top 5, Kincaid, Lovell, Doug Matag, Sean Morris, Luke Johnson, the top 5.
Ooh.
Now to the top 10 would be Jared Brooks in 6th, Cam Reimers. Nice run by him so far. Jesse Johnson's in 8th, Bobby Runyon 9th, and Nick Baumgartner in the top 10.
2 laps to go as Keegan Kincaid still out in front, makes the right-hand turn. He had a 1.8 second differential the last time around. This time it looks to be less than that, 1.19, so a 7/10 of a second faster lap by Brad Lovell that time. Matag still within 5 seconds of the leader. Next time around should get the white flag. Jared Brooks, who was in third, we talked about earlier, has dropped back to 6th place, about 10 seconds behind the leader, Keegan Kincaid, who's trying to make up points on Doug Matag, who sits back in third in this Pro Light, the first of our pro racing divisions this afternoon. We still have Pro 2 and Pro 4s remaining.
Man, everyone appears to be running the same lines, and it's like everyone seems to be comfortable with it. Or the fact is their hands are tied because they can't. There's no track to be had right now, so they have to run the same line. But I really don't see anybody experimenting, trying anything different right now.
Maybe they set it up not to be quite this dry, and they have to do that.
Brad Lovell just dives into the Polaris gravel pit turn. He made up probably about 6-7 car lengths. Now it's about probably 4 or 5 behind our leader. White flag is out, 1 lap remaining. Brad Lovell has to get on the pony right now. It's gotta happen now. And the thing is, at this kind of racetrack, he has got to plan a pass, say in the gravel pit turn, he has to plan it a half a lap before he gets there. He's got to get the truck in the position, in the proper line, way back here, to carry that momentum, build it up all the way across that racetrack to that corner.
He has to be close enough. You can plan on doing it, but if you're still 6, 7, 8 car lengths behind or truck lengths behind, you're not going to get it done. You might make up some ground, but you're not going to make the pass. And right there looks like stepping out just a little bit, not getting that drive that he's wanting. Let's see that. Yeah,
this is the part of the track where Kincaid really flexes his muscle, that horsepower. Down the straightaways, through the corners, down the straightaway. Now watch as they come down the Skybox Hill past the Walker Evans Racing Shocks Lincoln Wilder's back straightaway.
Yeah, that's funny. And I know funny.
Now watch, whoa, where did Lovell go? Holy smokes, did he lose some ground?
Yeah, he knows right now he's going to finish in 2nd place. He just has nothing for him to keep it on 4 wheels.
Doug Matag running in 3rd, Sean Morris in 4th. How about that? 1 turn remaining, checkered flags in hand. The young man from Argonne, Wisconsin, now running underneath the Amsoil finish line and the checkered flag. Keegan Kincaid will take the win. Brad Lovell 2nd. Doug Matag, our current points leader, will be 3rd. How about Sean Morris finishing 4th? And 5th, Luke Johnson. The young man, he's got to be happy with that.
So Keegan Kincaid looks to be the fastest. Once again, the number 7 comes across. The first man, Brad Lovell, giving him some congratulations, as well as the 81 of Doug Matag, championship rivals. And we'll hear from him on the podium right after this.
Ready. Drive. Fly. Dominate. Celebrate. MagnaFlow.
What is Monster? It's killing tires on the ultimate Gymkhana course. Time can block, and I am Monster.
Welcome back here to Crandon, Wisconsin, in the North Woods of the state. And it's the Big House here at Crandon International Off-Road Raceway, the Big House Brawl, we're calling it here. And it is Saturday afternoon, pro light racing, and we just received a fantastic race, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. They're working their way to the podium right now as we got Keegan Kincaid, Brad Lovell, and Doug Matag. And like I said earlier, perfect weather. If we didn't have the wind that we have now to carry the dust away from the crowd,
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
We'd be a lot dirtier. And it looks like we're going to get a winner's burnout here. Oh, yeah.
A little bit of a roost action.
Hey, like you didn't have enough dust already. Now he's just trying to stir up things just a little bit. You see the guys stopping.
Going towards the crowd. You just made some fans there.
Yeah, hey, these fans came here, with the objective of getting dirt in their teeth. And yes, pro lights have now been complete, and it was a good one. And we kind of saw it coming. I think at the last stop at Bark River that Kincaid has finally got things going, and it looked like a repeat of Bark River main event number 2 on the second day.
Well, what's interesting is for a moment there, it looked like the top 3 in points. We're going to be running away with it again on the racetrack. That was in the first half. And then at the just before the competition yellow, everything came apart for C.J. Greaves. Jarrett Brooks all of a sudden started going back a little bit. And the top guys started falling off to the wayside, something we haven't seen all season long.
Well, maybe we're starting to see guys starting to find their groove a little bit, like Brad Lovell, who finished his second. He had that, one streak where he went, 12th and 16th in back-to-back races. Keegan Kincaid went 10th and 19th in back-to-back races. Now, these past few events, these past few, finals, they've kind of got it together. Maybe they figured out something. Maybe they were just working out the gremlins early on in the year, but I think they both definitely look much faster than they did.
Yeah, I really think there's something wrong with the truck, or Keegan's head wasn't in it at Charlotte. Neither night did he was overly aggressive. Had huge contact.
Oh, well, he had help. He had help that one time.
That one incident, yeah, he had help. But the whole weekend as a whole, he wasn't quite in it. And
right.
That one weekend, I think, 10th and 12th?
10th and 19th.
10th and 19th it was. That could come back to bite him when we come back here on Labor Day weekend.
And that's why he was so furious, and they thought we'd see flying fists of fury when he got out of the track. So it was a good race. We just got through seeing it. Let's take a look at it again and check out some of the highlights of what happened. Of course, we had a start, and then we had a restart. And there's Cowboy. Yeah.
I'm just amazed at that dust field right there. Wow.
I'm amazed he hasn't tripped out of all these years. Brad Lovell on the very inside, but the momentum keeping it up on the outside is Keegan Kincaid. The 7 was definitely the whole shot recipient.
You know your truck is handling when you can pass on the outside of turn 1.
Well, but when you're inside, you get pinched just a little bit. But he never let off, had a nice smooth drive. That looked like the racing line.
And right there, CJ had the problem. You saw him turn left a little bit coming to that right-hand corner, and from that point on, we still don't know exactly what took place with CJ, what his problem was. He pulls in the hot bits just before the competition yellow, pulled the whole front clip off on the body, and came back on the track, but still wasn't up to speed.
Yeah, and maybe Taylor could get an update on that for us, because we know CJ is going to be in Pro 2 here in just a moment. You saw a little bicycling action. I think the story is the track and how it was drying out. Did Keegan Kincaid maybe set up for a little drier condition? Did the same thing happen with Brad Lovell? Because they look very fast, and we know it's dry because you get roosts like this out of grass. And the boys stayed behind just a little bit. There's Keegan Kincaid, a smile on his face. High five, very nice.
That's a live shot right now as we talk. Keegan, we're waiting for you to get up on the podium, man.
Yeah, and he's been waiting to get up there. I'm up here, and
I don't know where to go. I've never been here. Yeah, whatever. Get up there.
He'll get another chance at it tomorrow. Can he get the off-road turkey? Get 3 in a row? That'll be the next question.
Well, nobody knows this track in Pro Light better than that kid right there. He's got a lot of laps around here, and maybe they found the chemistry, the formula to make it work here. And trust me, they got a laptop full of information on how to make that truck work around this racetrack. We'll turn it down to Taylor Center in just a second. There you see Doug Matag. And there's, wow, Brad is smiling. Wow, what's that about?
Hey, he's,
that's awesome.
You want to know what that? Brad's thinking about that 12th and or the 16th, the 17th, and going, Brad is back. That's why he's smiling. That is exactly, and he was in it too until the very end, and lost a little bit of distance. But I think it was one of those cases of, he's got me here. Let's keep this thing on 4 wheels and bring in a good result for AMSOIL, one of his sponsors, and Jeremy with AMSOIL here hobbling around with his walking boot.
Look at
on.
the crowd down there around the podium. That's awesome. A neat shot. Very cool.
And these guys do not mind at all signing autographs. So don't be afraid to ask them for their autograph. If they're not doing something business-wise or have to take care of business right then, they'll be more than happy to do so.
See a bunch of the media, the photographers, videographers down there as well.
Yeah, good crowd here. This is our first time to Crandon this year. We come back not too long from now, and you say the second race, that's the World Championships. It's always bigger, but this is pretty huge in my book.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
That's what I
I'm
hear.
telling you, man, it's more than just a song. You ain't seen nothing yet. It's what's ironic is on Labor Day weekend, you've got the parade Friday morning, you've got the downtown festivities, then you got Friday afternoon qualifying. But the neat thing also is Saturday is the World Championship rings are handed out, but then on Sunday, the last race of 2014 for the pros and sportsmen, that's where the championships will be handed out, the season championships. So it's going to be a championship weekend, both days. It's going to be absolutely incredible.
Speaking of incredible, the Traxxas girls down there handing out the trophies, as well as Taylor Snyder's down there with our victors. Taylor?
Thanks, guys. That's right. I'm up here with some pretty excited people and, of course, some really excited fans. You guys like all the racing out there? All right, I'm going to step up here and talk to our third-place finisher, Doug Matag. Doug, I spoke to you a little earlier. You are the current points leader going into that race. Obviously, we talked about CJ being a threat to that points change, but now we have Keegan up on the top. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we weren't too worried about CJ, but Keegan, man, he's fast, and this is his hometown track, and he kept Cooper up top, so that's all we care about. And it was just a fun race. There was a lot of dust out there, especially in the gravel pit turn. That was horrible. I couldn't even see. I was just throwing it in there. Hopefully, I didn't catch a rut. But I'm just pumped to be on the podium, keeping this points lead thing going, and I can't thank everybody enough. I mean, my team, Joe Clark, my dad, Chad Graham, Jesse Heisey, owner, everybody. And then Amsoil, Cooper Tires, just everybody that keeps me up here. No Grady Racing Engines, everybody.
All right, big congratulations, Doug Matag.
Thank you.
Moving on over to our second place finisher, Brad Level. Brad, now that was a great race out there. Obviously, we've got some blue groove. You can see a lot of ruts out there. What was that track like? Were you trying out different lines, trying to catch Keegan?
You know, I was doing whatever I could, but just like Doug said, this is Keegan's track, and it's hard to beat a Kincaid out here. But yeah, the track was getting a little torn up. There's some blue groove on the inside, so you know, there's one line, and that's right on the cushion, and it's pretty much where Keegan was putting it. And there were some holes in the back. He was dodging. I'd go through them. I'd get a little run. He'd get a little run. But you know, we're bringing the fight, but we're not done yet. We got tomorrow. We're going to come out here again, and after the season we've had leading up to this, I'm just stoked to be up here in second place and back on the podium representing Amsoil, Magnaflow, Spider Tracks, BF Goodrich Tires, all these sponsors that have stuck with me forever. And you know, this is our job to get on the box. So very proud to be here, and got to thank my team and family for sticking with us through some pretty poor finishes.
Well, these guys definitely have a lot coming for them with you coming tomorrow.
Right on. Yep. We'll be right there. We'll be there.
All right, give it up for Brad Level, everyone. Moving on up to our top finisher, Keegan Kincaid. Give it up for him, guys. As they said, this is your hometown. These are your fans. These are your friends out here, and that's got to be really supportive out there when you're racing, to know these guys are behind you 100%.
Yeah, my family, all my friends come here, so I got to put on a show for them and put us up on the top of the box. And it's just not them. It's all my sponsors, Traxxas. They're so supportive. They give me the best truck, and they are the fastest name. And Cooper Tire, these things held up great. The track started getting rutted up, as you can tell. You know, we've been dominant this year with Cooper Tire. Doug, Jarrett, me, we just been hard to beat. So hopefully we can continue that streak. And Amsoil, Impact, everybody that helps us out. You know, Fox, Goodwin Competition. You know, we're 1-2 up here. So hats off to him and all my team. Thank you.
All right, give it up for him, Keegan Kincaid. And give it up for our entire Pro Light podium up here today. Doug Matag, Brad Level, and Keegan Kincaid.
Thanks a lot, Taylor. In fact, a few words about some of the people behind the scenes. This Husqvarna is one of the bigger ones. Husqvarna is the world's largest producer of outdoor power products. Husqvarna offers a full line of lawn and garden equipment for the homeowner and the professional. Chainsaws, blowers, trimmers, lawnmowers, tractors, and zero turns. Husqvarna has everything you need to get the job done. Stop by the Husqvarna display area to find out how you can save 10% on your next purchase of Husqvarna outdoor power equipment. They are celebrating 325 years of innovation this year. Over the course of their history, they've made weapons.
Yeah.
Weapons?
Yeah, sure
Really?
have.
Oh, okay, cool. I want to see Husqvarna weapon.
They're Swedish. You ever seen a mower blade come at you?
Sewing machines, motorcycles, and outdoor power equipment. Trust Husqvarna to provide you the most efficient, durable, and ergonomically designed products on the market today. Stop by the Husqvarna display area to find out how you can save 10% on your next purchase of Husqvarna outdoor power equipment. And then also Traxxas manufactures the world's best-selling radio-controlled cars, trucks, boats, and helicopters, including the award-winning Slash short course race truck, nitro-burning T-Max, and the 100-plus mile-an-hour X01 supercar. Visit Traxxas in the pits or go to the Traxxas.com to find your local hobby store with over 30 vehicles under $300. Get in on the fun with Traxxas, the fastest name in radio control. Whether you're a sponsored, pro, or weekend warrior, the winning drivers of Torc rely on VP Racing Fuels to keep their trucks running right, and now you can use that same technology in your car. VP additives are the perfect way to clean out your fuel system and put the power back in your drive. For more info, visit vpracingfuels.com. And Rugged Radios is here this weekend. Rugged Radios is the #1 source for racing communications. From headsets, two-way radios, and receivers, Rugged Radios has all the equipment needed to take your team to the podium. And what's really cool, they got this little tiny thing called the Nitro Bee. It's a small single-channel radio receiver for racers and spotters to hear the Torc race officials. This UHF listen-only receiver allows track officials to notify drivers and spotters of a yellow flag or any wrecks that may have occurred on the track. The Nitro Bee is the official receiver for USAC. Get your Nitro Bee today at ruggedradios.com or probably on top of the hill right in Manufacturers Midway. They're here with a big setup and a trailer all ready to go. So looks like we got super buggies at line and staging. And let's see. I believe Dave is like banging on me for the microphone. Dave, what do you got, man? Dave? Dave. Thanks, guys.
Hey, I got the final 5 numbers for the 50-50 raffle. The first number is 729604. 729604. The next number is 730-233.
Right now.
All right. That's fine.
Well, race fans, it's always cool to have some of the drivers come up here and get a chance to put them on camera and get a few words with them. But it's a special treat for me because there's a really, really, really cool truck that was on the track earlier today in the super stock division. And I'm still looking at you. You're 17. 17. We got Gatlin Keener up here from the super stock truck. And, you know, Gatlin, what year is that? I mean, this is something you know probably more about, Robbie, than I do.
It was
but
a 47.
Man, 47?
Yep.
The concept of how old that truck is that sunk in yet? How old that? It's older than your dad by two times? Jeepers.
No, not that. No, Dad's old. Dad's that old.
Yeah.
But what was it like? I mean, that truck was so fast out on the track, first time out of the box, and it was so neat to see a truck that I call Mater, because it looks like Mater from Cars.
It's a different experience. I mean, I ran the old truck last year, and we've been in the process of building this new one. And, well, we worked all night Thursday night and Friday night to get it done and left at 6:30 Friday morning to get here.
Well, you got kind of something else that's really cool because you've got your primary truck that, like you said, you used to race. You had a contest on was it Facebook?
Yep.
With just fans, And the winner of that contest got to drive your primary truck while you slid over and ran Mater.
Yep, the new truck, and the 886 Like got to run the truck.
Is that what it was? That's a concept. 886 person. Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Wow. Would you?
What kind of insurance policy do you have on the thing now? If you tear this thing up, you realize how much you're going to owe me, right?
Yeah.
There's got to be something.
I mean, I don't think he could have hurt it any worse than I could have.
Yeah.
Then I need to take it for a lap then, obviously. That's awesome, though.
But what was it like to go out there? I mean, you look at this thing, and obviously, it probably hasn't. A lot of people haven't seen it yet or caught attention yet. But when it does, I have a funny feeling it's going to be a fan favorite. I mean, going way back to R.J. Flanagan, his old truck that he ran before he wrecked it here. In fact, it happened here in the late 90s, I think it was, and rolled it right up by the barn jump. That was an older truck like yours, and here you bring this whole thing out. You don't even paint it. You leave the patina on it and rust and everything. And man, how cool is that?
It's
you don't care either
cool.
way. You were gonna paint it orange, weren't you?
Well, we thought about it. We actually had a bunch of paint schemes picked out, and then we just decided to leave it the way it is. Go for like a rat rod look, kind of.
Yeah, that's what I said when I
rat
saw
rod
it
with a
out
lift
there
kit.
first. I thought it looked like a rat rod, but heavy body panels. I have a 55 truck. The body themselves are pretty heavy. Is that a hindrance at all, or is it
Make him
good?
stand up. I mean, look at this. You think
he's
weight's a
big
problem?
boy.
They're worried about it?
He's a big boy. I'm just saying, you dent that thing, you just get the sledgehammer and beat it back out. It's like new again. Those things are meant to last.
You're from Iowa, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's a high school wrestler. 17 years old.
Not in my class, he wouldn't be.
Yeah, all of a sudden the ref goes like this, and all of a sudden you start wrestling, I'd call and
Flip you like a cheese omelet. I've seen it. Yeah, I imagine.
But I mean, you got so much cool things going on. You're very active in the social medias. You had this contest. You had a really cool. What was the winner like after the race? I mean, what was his expressions like?
I think he was really, really nervous.
After the race?
Before and after the race, he was just ecstatic.
He wants to buy the truck now, right?
I don't
know. Right? It's for sale, right?
Yeah. Anything's for sale for the right price.
Yeah, that's what my dad taught me.
Well, you know what? Thank you so much for stopping up here. We got 5 minutes before the next race. We're just giving the signal. I don't think it didn't look like the truck got hurt at all, even a bit. Maybe do a bolt run, change oil, maybe. I don't know, but looks like you're ready to go for tomorrow.
Yep, we're ready to roll.
Now, what would you do? What do you think your dad would do if you finished in the podium tomorrow with that thing? No idea?
He said nothing.
Nothing? Liar. Your dad, he'd probably crawl out of his skin and he'd be this big crying, bubbling idiot. Oh, my boy, my truck. Oh, yeah. You know what? Congratulations. It was so cool to see that thing out there. I'm glad you guys came up here. And, where are you guys located in the pit so they can fans can come down there and see this thing?
Right off the concrete. Yeah, I mean, you can't miss it. And H and I.
H and I?
Yep.
H and I, okay.
They're huge. They take up 2 rows.
Yep.
Well, look for everything orange except Mater, Rusty. So, you know what? Thanks for coming up here. Good luck tomorrow. And it's neat to see something. I'm so glad somebody did something totally different. You guys rock. Really kill it. Thank you so much. Gatlin Keener running in Super Stock. You know what? As long as you take care of your dad, things will be cool, man. He'll take your place. 17-year-old Gatlin Keener running in Super Stock. Thanks a lot, man.
No problem.
So we'll have Super Buggy starting up here a little bit. Another sportsman class. If it's anything like Park River, it should be a fun one as well. The Worm's going to be in this one. We'll see Larry Pecker.
The squirrel.
We're going to step away for just a moment. Yellow flag's out. Well, no flag should be out right now. We'll see you in just a bit.
Fire and EMS professionals often use gas-powered tools and depend on this equipment to start when needed. That's why they use VP small engine fuel, formulated with no ethanol to prevent fuel system damage and ensure easier starts. It's designed for both 2- and 4-cycle engines. Try VP small engine fuels for your gas-powered tools so they'll start when you need them. Order online at homedepot.com or visit your local dealer.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here at Crandon, Wisconsin, in the Northwoods of the state. It's the Big House Brawl here at Crandon International Off-Road Raceway, and I got another big shout-out to some fans that have been here so many years. Obviously, I guess weren't able to make it this time because they just called me out on the internet and said, hey, how about calling out Zimmy and all the gang back in Chicago area that weren't able to make this race. So, Zimmy, you and your sandals can just hang out in Chicago, bring some real shoes for the fall race. We'll see you then.
Have a cold one for us. Right
have a cold one. I know he's got a bunch of friends right here in front of the shack here at the moment, but we're just a couple minutes away yet from the Super Buggy race. We've got the pretty stacked field in this, and one of our good friends out there, becoming a good friend, is
Larry
Squirrel.
Larry Pegham.
Squirrel.
Squirrel is what you call him. Worms, what the rest of the world calls it. The Schwalbes. I get them confused between Ryan Schwalbe and Scott Schwalbe. I know one of them was super fast at the last round. Rodney Van Eperen, I think he's fast as well. Tom Schwartzberg, John Frana.
No, John Frana, he's the four-wheel drive car that kind of looks like a Star Wars starfighter. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll look totally different than the other guys out there.
And he's starting right next to probably the oldest car in any class here this weekend, Tom Schwartzberg. I want to say that's an old. I mean, this is before your time, but old Todd Addig car, who used to race in the series before, probably 15, 20 years ago. And he had the car before Tom Schwartzberg. But Rodney Van Eperen, yes, he's fast. His son was out here racing earlier in the short course karts. Scott Schwalbe, you see him, the number 29 on the screen right there, and there's his son, the number 2. That is his son, Ryan, yeah. And there's Tom Schwartzberg in the 03 out of Wauwatosa, just outside of Milwaukee. It's been just him and his wife come up here every race weekend and just have fun, just two of them. Little tiny camper, race car.
Pegram doesn't know. He's in the number 5. It looks like second from the outside. He doesn't know if he's going to be racing any more of these events, but he said, if I win here, if I win both these, I'm in the points lead. He's got to bring me back, right? And he's got a Popcorn Sutton Tennessee whiskey.
You're going to try and tell me the bootlegger and the wild man aren't going to bring back the squirrel?
But he lost it for some reason, and he thought he might, but he had, tie rod problems at Bark River. Every time he'd land off the jump, it would just, whoop, it would, take off on him. And he worked his way up, back. He just kept going back and forth, but he's definitely exciting to watch. He said one of his problems was in the race was tear-offs. And we talked a little bit about tear-offs earlier, but this is a guy who's raced professional motorcycles as a professional his entire life.
Yeah, you know him very well.
I know road racing him. He's been around for 15, over 15 years at least. But Supermoto, I've called him. But he's been there. But as a motorcycle guy, you tear off from the left. Cars, you can go right and left. Mm-hmm. And he I think he tore off all his tear-offs in one spot. But he made a mistake and didn't line up his tear-offs like he wanted them. And he did them just on the left-hand side, and I think he kind of either ran out or he pulled them all off.
This has got to be the hardest class, I think, in all of racing.
There's a four-wheel drive.
Yeah, there's John Fran, a very good look at him. Look how different that car looks compared to everybody else's. But, I mean, you're clutching, you're shifting, there's a turning brake. Then on the steering wheel, you've got 2 buttons. One is for the spotter, talking with your spotter, there's still radio communication. And some guys even have the electronic tear-offs, if you want, roll-offs.
Right, I hate those, though.
So, I mean, you're doing something with both hands at all times. So if he had tear-offs and he kind of had them on the right side where you're shifting, that's probably what he did. He forgot.
Maybe that was the case. Maybe that was it. Maybe he had them all tied to the left and that he had to have it on the shift hand and he can't let go and shift at the same time. Yeah. Maybe that was it. Because he definitely said he had it in moto mode.
Well, there's one of the Smith boys.
As a motorcycle, you have the throttle hand. You usually don't let go of the throttle hand.
You don't want to let go of that on a motorcycle.
You can, but in the air, I mean, you let the throttle nosedives, and as you generally don't want to, or you reach across. Seeing some, looks like some foam in the wheel wells. Usually do that when it's muddy, but not really muddy right now.
Well, it makes clean even the dust. It makes cleaning the dust off a lot easier, yeah.
True.
A lot of these guys will use AMSOIL, to be honest with you, aerosol, the spray, and just coat these things down. And even though with a heavy dust, it'll stick to that.
Spray it off in the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. Just to spray it. So much like Teflon, even better than Teflon. It just slides right off with the pressure washer.
Oh, there goes Cowboy. Don't trip, sir, because Scott jinxed you earlier.
Here's our lineup real quick. On the pole is the number 907 of John Frano of Rockford, Illinois. Starting second, the number 3, Tom Schwartzberg from Wauwatosa, just outside Milwaukee. Starting third, the 45 of Rodney Van Eperen. Husqvarna on the side, but it's Husqvarna Motorcycles. Starting fourth will be Ryan Schwabe in the number 2, Larry Pegram in the number 5, and the Popcorn Sutton's White Whiskey entry. And then finally the number 29, Scott Schwabe on the far outside, coming into turn number 1.
So we should see Scott Schwabe with a hole shot, right? The four-wheel drive should get better grip going into the first
Should
turn.
be John Frana, but look at Rodney Van Eperen in the middle of the track as he drifts wide, trying to avoid it. No, he's going right back to the middle.
That's the racing liner.
Wow, Rodney Van Eperen in the Husqvarna number 45.
So why did the four-wheel drive? Oh, that was Frana. Why did he not get the hole shot when he has more wheels driving?
Well, if you looked at watch him at the start, it looked like the weight transfer just shifted all the way to the back wheel.
So he's not pulling.
Pretty much made the front wheels inoperable, I would guess. I don't know. But look at the lead Van Eperen has already.
Who are you talking about?
Is that Scott?
Somebody just pulled off our
That's
leader.
Scott Schwabe, number 29. That's Scott.
29 was out in front. He just pulls off. Something broke.
No, Rodney Van Eperen had the hole shot, so he was.
Well, then how? I don't know. What happened?
Well, Van Eperen was already in the gravel pit turn as he comes across the Amsoil finish line right now, and the clock starts. But look how greasy the track is.
I was looking for the right word to use. That thing was slicker than owl poop, and that's slippery.
Wow, I don't know what. No smoke, no nothing, no steam. Just the car shut down. And, oh boy, we have a replay of Bark River. Here we go. There's Squirrel running inside. I mean, Pegram inside.
Give him time though. He said he is tested here. He drove here last year, I believe. I think this might have been one of the rounds he'd driven before, and he's taking that high line trying to square it up. But you said that before, when you do that and bring the motor down, it's really hard to get it built back up, isn't it? I mean, you got to keep that thing wound up a little more.
Yeah, I mean, to get through these corners, I mean, they got steering brakes, the cutter brakes, and it's very advantageous in tight corners, but in a corner like that, it's almost better not to use it, because if you use a turning brake, it locks up the back wheels and you lose that wheel spin. Oh boy, there he goes. Squirrel got he started going to the right instead of the left in that left-hand turn. So Van Eperen looking very strong right now, that Husqvarna number 45 as he comes out of the Polaris gravel pit turn.
There's
John Crandon in second, just roosting like crazy. Pegram.
Yeah, Pegram dropped back to third. He was there. I think he has to kind of develop the feel for it. Again, this is a two-wheel guy learning how to do the four-wheel side of it. But he's been on the dirt. You know, he's a dirt tracker as well. I forgot to throw that in there. He's able to be a racer and identify the different track conditions probably better than anybody, because the different forms of dirt racing he has done.
You know what? I think what he has yet to develop or starting to figure out is you don't steer these cars with the front wheels. You really do it with the back tires between the throttle and the steering brakes. That's what you're really turning these things with instead of the actual steering wheel.
And for him, he probably has to assimilate some of that with dirt tracking. I think I remember when I was in my 20s, he was as well. And coming up, I think he raced dirt track. But again, motorcycle is a different world. Frana kind of stick it in low, and looks like he literally stuck it in low. He got down there on the bottom, really didn't have power to drive out.
I'm trying to see if he has front wheel drive, because I didn't see any dirt being kicked up by the front wheels, which is a sign right away. You see dirt being kicked up, that means the front tires are still spinning and grabbing and kicking up dirt. If not, then he lost front wheel drive, which that car has a tendency to do quite often.
Sounds like you've got some history with that car.
Well, when that car's working, it's like stupid fast. I mean, it is just crazy.
It looks like Frankenstein, though, out there when you get next to him.
I always thought it was like I said, Star Wars was a starfighter. Is that what they were called?
I don't know. Or those things that walked out in the frozen things. That's what that was. Yeah, I'm not seeing it pulling with the front. It may be. So we only have Van Eperen with what, a 1.7 second advantage. I thought it was more than that, but Frana's closed into 1.7. Larry Pegram dropped back. He's 12.6 seconds. What happened to him on that last lap? Well, Fran is freaking driving in hard right there. What?
Well, this would be. This is Rodney Van Epperen's rookie season. I mean, he raced Pro Light years and years ago. I shouldn't say it quite like that, but quite a while ago. And it was a pretty good ride. He's a very, very good motocrosser as well back in his day. So he knows how to read dirt, knows his way around a dirt track and jumps and stuff like that. But he stepped aside, started a business, started a family, and his son, like I said earlier, is running in the short course karts, and Rodney's back with a super buggy and a very nice car at that. I believe that is a J.R. Wheeler's car from the last couple of years. There's Tom Schwartzberg in the 03 out of the Milwaukee area. Just out there having a blast. In fact, I think he was actually on the podium once or twice last year in 2013. So
look at how close his helmet was to the roof of that thing. Is he a tall guy, or is it just not much clearance?
You're talking to the wrong guy about height.
Did you see that? You better have those belts cinched down. You go under, your helmet's tapping the top. Now in this class, no matter how far out in front you are, we still again will have that competition yellow coming up
next time
the next time around. So is anybody laying back? That's the question. I hate to even ask it, but if you're John Frana, you don't have to prove anything. If you're Larry Pegram, you don't have to prove anything other than you would probably rather be in second. But Pegram dropping back almost 15 seconds now. Oh, there's one of those rocks we've talked about. A couple guys kicking them up right there.
Yeah, it looks like Frana's on it pretty good. It looks like he's actually going to go for or try for the lead before the competition yellow. There's Pegram one more time, but yeah, Frana's on it pretty hard. Here comes Pegram one more time down that straightaway. Into the back section, into a tight left-hand 180 in the back section. Here comes Frana and our leader, Van Eperen, through Forest County, Potawatomi, turn 1. Yeah, and he's definitely gaining on our leader. But
maybe he's going to put the sneak attack on.
The shocks on the front of that car just seem like they're
springy.
Yeah, there's not a lot of valving going on. It's all spring, it looks like.
And you hear shocks called different things in different forms of motorsports. Some called dampers, and I don't know that it's damping very well. But
it's rebounding real good. It's rebounding real good.
Compression, not so much. The rebound, oh yeah, he's got plenty of it.
It's kind of like when you, at moments like this, you see last second dives for the flag, whether it be a competition yellow or a checkered flag. You see that last second dive. I'm thinking right away, where was that effort 2-3 laps ago? Where was that kind of effort on consecutive laps?
Maybe Van Eperen was backing out. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe Frana just turned it up a notch. We'll see what he does in the second half here shortly.
If Blue Dev diesel exhaust fluid stands for one thing, it's purity. In fact, the folks that make it are sort of obsessed with it. That's why Blue Dev is the #1 brand of DEF in the whole country. Guys, do we have to do this right now?
Yep.
Manufactured here in the USA, Blue Def is available at over 25,000 retail locations. Blue Def, certified pure for your clean diesel SCR truck or car. Guys, I look like a lunch lady.
Yep.
So go get yourself some Blue Def at these great retailers.
Husqvarna's latest innovation is based on a simple fact. The Earth is not flat. It's hills, valleys, and uneven terrain inspired Husqvarna to create a line of all-wheel drive mowers that help make easy work of any mowing challenge. The Earth isn't flat, but with a Husqvarna all-wheel drive mower, it sure could feel that way. Find the all-wheel drive mower at your local Husqvarna dealer and Lowe's.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here one more time at Crandon, Wisconsin, up in the Northwoods. And it's a big house brawl here this weekend. Round 3 of the Sportsman Series and round 7, is it? Round 7? Of the Pro Series. We're under competition yellow right now with our leader, Rodney Van Eperen, leading in the Super Buggy division. John Frana in second and Larry Pegram in third. We had reports a moment ago that the right front flat tire on Pegram right now running in third.
It's either low or flat 1.
They're trying to tell. That would definitely change things up if that's true. Even though they don't like to.
2 back from this guy.
Yeah, there's our leader, Van Eperen. There's John Frana in a 4-wheel drive Pro Buggy. And there's a right front flat tire.
And why didn't they try and relay that message, or why didn't they just air it up? Because he should have just done it, right? That's the straightaway. He should have turned right, even put air in it.
Well, he could have as soon as the flags come out, he could have past the entire field, past the pace truck, gone up into the over to the hot pits and changed that.
Worst goes to worst, he goes over there and they put 10 pounds of pressure in there, and 20 pounds just in 3 seconds.
Who's to know? I mean, maybe they didn't have a hot pit set up. Maybe he doesn't have radio communication. Well, he has to have radio communication actually as a requirement, but
he can hear. He might not be able to
maybe the
say.
spotters didn't know. If
Maybe.
he can't tell, maybe if the driver can't tell or see, he didn't. I mean, it's Squirrel. Can he tell when there's a right front flat tire?
Worm, I don't know. It's pretty low. You'd think you'd be able to feel it being really mushy.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Here he goes back to the green. Yeah, Van Eppen was not waiting. I think he started accelerating before that first orange cone.
Well, they gave him green.
And we lost another car. Where's Tom Schwartzberg? We lost our man from Milwaukee. He must have ducked to the hot pit. So now we've got Rodney Van Eppen, John Frana, Larry Pegram, and Ryan Schwabe as the 4 cars on the track in the super buggies. Now we're going to see if John Frana has anything for our leader Van Eppen. It looked like he was kind of messing around with him a little bit in the first half. Before the competition yellow, looked like he had something for him, but not quite enough to make a pass before the competition yellow came out.
Oh, nice slide job right there. Look at this as they head back one more time. Van Eppen, did he lose position? And that is the case. Van Eppen drops back. We'll take a look at that in a minute, but Frana, look at this. Even more pressure by Van Eppen. He's wide.
That was a wake-up call. I think that caught Van Eppen a little off guard. I wonder if Frana's got front-wheel drive. Now he misses a shift or something.
Yeah, no, he got loose coming out of that turn and totally had to let off to keep from saving. So let's see what happened to Van Eppen here originally. That was the turn
at the Argonne corner.
Yeah, it's definitely pulling to the front right there.
Yeah, Van Eppen squared off the corner, went to the outside, squared off, come back inside. Frana had the spot.
He said, how'd he do, didn't he? Right?
Hello, here I am.
How'd he do? Here I am. There I go. I think Van Eppen might have got a little ticked off there, and now he said, I'm not messing with you anymore. I'm going full tilt boogie from here on.
It definitely was a wake-up call, no doubt. Whoa, man, Frana. I don't know what kind of corner that was. He came in and made a point of it.
He's pulling now with the front wheels for sure, no question. I can see it. I can see it in the turn, him grabbing.
He can dive in that corner so much harder, so much further than Van Eppen. Boy, just the soft springs in the front of Frana's car just make me so nervous the way that thing just bounces. I don't know if it doesn't even have any valving. It's all spring. And Van Eppen still hanging on. It's going to be interesting to find out if he can protect his line or try to take away the one Frana wants to run.
Baggert still hanging on to third as well.
Headed down that long straightaway into the Forest County Potawatomi turn 1. Van Eppen once again pulls away a little bit from Frana.
And the drivers separated considerably. Van Eppen had that one little wake-up call. Got a little bump and run from John Frana. Now Frana seems to be dropping back. Wonder if he's got any kind of problem on board, or did Van Eppen just pick up the pace?
Yeah, he's off the pace of what he was earlier. Yeah, there's no doubt. He was diving hard into the Polaris from the picture before. He's not doing it now.
I still have to wonder if Larry Pegram had a right front tire, how fast he could be. Or one with air in it at least, because he's still, he was only like 6 seconds off of the lead.
And at Park River, he was the fastest car on the track, even though he was battling for second and third. He was the fastest on the track, and at one point, he was reeling in the leader before certain issues popped up, and he kept taking himself out.
You see, there's first, there's second, third
Oh,
place.
wow. Sounds like Frana, if that's what we heard in the mic just a moment ago, Frana sounds like he's having transmission issues. Just trying to shift gears, sounds like he's having problems.
Having some steering issues as well. Look at that, way wide.
Rodney Van Eperen actually has a power sports dealerships in the Fox Valley area, I believe in Kimberly, just north of Appleton. And I think that's part of his Husqvarna sponsorship. And it looks like, I see some steamers, some smoke coming out of the back of Frana's car.
Maybe. I think you may be right. Trying to look in there deeper. I thought I did see something other than just dust flying up. And you mentioned that Husqvarna motorcycles. As far as motocross, the Husqvarna and the KTM are the same machine. Yeah, the same family.
We hear a lot of track noise, and we're trying to figure out which sound is coming from which car. Would tell us a lot what's going on in the track.
Yeah, they have different
White
mics.
flag is out. So
There's definitely some smoke. Definitely some smoke.
And it's not the nice white smoke. It's got a little blue tint to it, and that's ugly smoke.
So Pegram's still holding on back in third, but he's 2 seconds ahead of Ryan Schwalbe. Schwalbe just can't get that pass.
That was actually Scott, his dad's car for, I want to say, the last 2 years. And he actually rented out his car, his old Beam car.
Beam car? What do you mean?
Beam.
Oh, yeah.
Beam, single
yeah.
beam car, front suspension. And Scott never quite got the handle of that A-arm car. And then Bark River, he jumped into his old car and came back and won. Right, he was on the top spot on the podium, and I think Ryan actually podiumed on one of the races as well. So Scott put on the old car, he'll put on the old shoe, and won the race.
Just showing the old man still has the stuff. Rodney Van Eperen has the stuff today. I like that car. That thing looks sweet. I think as announcers, we all should drop in one of these and just go out there and,
I think it's a Danny Fodrell car built out of Phoenix, Arizona area.
It's a West Coast car?
I believe so.
Yeah, it looks nice. It looks like a Western build.
But then so is Pegram's and Ryan's Schwabe's car. There's checkered flag. Van Eperen, I believe, just won his first race of his career, both Pro Light and Super Buggy. So we'll find out in just a moment. But Van Eperen will take the win. John Frano takes second, and Pegram will hang on for third. We'll be back in just a moment for our top three finishers at the podium with Taylor Snyder. We'll be back right after this.
When you take that checkered flag and you're standing top on the box, you're proud to have AMSO on your shirt. But I tell you what, when you take that motor apart in the dyno room and you look at those bearings and you see how great they are, you're really proud to be an AMSOIL driver and to be representing a team that has product that's that good.
The day for the Forest County Chambers $100 hard cold cash, sponsored by the Potawatomi Carter Casino and Hotel. The winner is Jim and Peggy Hool of Crandon, Wisconsin. Jim and Peggy Hool. You can go down to the ticket table by the barn and pavilion and claim your $100. The first $100 cash drawing tomorrow will be sponsored by the Forest County Chambers of Commerce. Remember to buy.
So we have the Pro 2s coming up here very shortly, followed by the Pro 4s as well. Of course, we have our Super Buggy interviews with Taylor Snyder here in just a moment. So I think Scott Rain's going down, but I don't think we need him down there. So Scott, if you can hear us, Taylor is down there on the victory podium, or heading down that way, but we don't need him. But you know, Scotty on the spot, we call him. And also Aaron Sharkey, I know you're here, but I know you're without a driver's license. Aaron Sharkey, if you want your driver's license, please come up to the over to the sound tower or the booth, if you would, please. So it looks like Taylor Snyder is down there with our Super Buggy podium, and I want you to ask Big Worm why he didn't pull in and try and fix that flat, or at least put some air in it, Taylor.
Thanks, guys. I'm down here with our Super Buggy podium finishers, and I'm going to start with our third place finisher, Larry Pegram. Larry, how is it driving out here on the big house? You've obviously probably heard a lot about it. How's that track out there for you?
It was good. It was a little muddy at first, for sure. I think they got a little happy with the water, but my Real Tree popcorn set and whiskey buggy was doing really good, and then somebody let the air out of my front tire, so kind of took the wind out of my sails a little bit, and the thing started going a little crazy on me a few times with the flat tire, but it was what it was, and we finished third, so it was okay. But I wanted a chance to win, and we didn't get it.
Well, there is still one more chance tomorrow. You ready to take that?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, I was pretty upset that we couldn't do it today, so tomorrow we're gonna go for it.
All right. Well, I can't wait to see that race tomorrow. Thanks. All right, give it up, guys. Your third place finisher today, Larry Pegram. Moving on over to our second place finisher, John Frana. John, someone I'm used to seeing up here. Great race out there today. How did that track treat you with all that mud?
It was great. The RCV Performance 4-wheel drive worked awesome. It was definitely slick in spots and rough in other spots, but the sway-away shocks ran through that great. Had a real solid race, had a couple incidents with Rob, and my hat's off to him. I mean, his first race at Crandon, and he won. I can't say enough. That's really impressive.
All right, anyone else you'd like to thank?
BFG Tires, FK Roddens, both help us out, Frana Group, and my family and friends that always come to the races and help us out. I've got a lot of support.
All right, big congratulations to your second place finisher, John Frana. And moving on up to our number one finisher up here today, Rodney Van Eperen. Ronnie, talk a little bit about that. I'm really surprised because you do not look like you have a speck of mud on you at all.
That's what I want to do, pull the whole shot, because I don't like getting dirty and I don't like cleaning the cars tonight. So we were aiming for the whole shot. We put the Power Sports 1 Husqvarna motorcycles, Yamaha in the lead, and John was pressuring me. I was getting nervous there a couple times, but I got to really say thanks to Johnny Greaves. He was on the radio with me, talking me through everything, and I couldn't do it without him. My mom and dad, my wife, my kids. Craig Gums here helping me for the weekend. I got to say a big thanks out to him, but I'm super excited. This is awesome. This is what we come here for.
All right, we'll give it up to all of your Super Buggy podium finishers for today's race. Larry Pegram, John Frana, and of course, Rodney Van Eperen.
Thank you, Taylor. I'd like to thank everybody watching around the world on TorcSeries.com. Well, we've got the Pro 2s coming up here very shortly. We've got the Pro 4s. So first, let's take a look at the Pro 2 recap from Bark River, Michigan. It was just, 2 weeks ago, but this is how it went down.
Ari Leyendijk Jr. pulls the whole shot as they come into turn number 1 in that gunk entry. And looked pretty good, but then all of a sudden the cream rises to the top, and it's Jeff Kincaid and Chad Horde battling on the first day. And then CJ Greaves threads his way through the pack and works his way right between Jeff Kincaid and Chad Horde. And I believe, yeah, here it is. This was a big story. Those two made contact and took themselves out of the race almost.
Zipper catching fire for just a moment ago. And they said that it was CJ Greaves' fault. So they black flagged him here very shortly. He had to pull off the track. Chad Horde didn't have to do anything but just keep hauling tail.
Yeah, he made a statement before this race that if he won, that he would have to buy another short course cart for his other daughter. And guess what? He won. Took the checkered flag, and he needed to be reminded at the podium right about then. And he was, yeah, I guess I have to now. So Chad Horde won on Saturday, and then on Sunday, how about this? Jarrett Johnson pulls a whole shot. Nick Tyree in second, and Ari Leindyke Jr. right there in third.
Johnson on the outside of Greaves there. Greaves, another fast drive for him, but the one-handed double face-auger of Chad Horde, the winner from day one, the loser in day two.
Yeah,
that was a pretty penny right there.
Yeah, he said he pulled a bonehead move on that one, but then quietly, almost stealth-like, Barlow, podium both days.
Also the 91, Nick Tyree was in the mix as well.
And again, here comes young C.J. Greaves in the back bumper of Jeff Kincaid.
And Jeff takes the victory. That would have been his first of the year, coming after that 9th from the previous day. And looking at the points, Kincaid with that victory moved into 4th place, but C.J. Greaves a 1-point advantage over Chad Horde after that terrible finish at Bark River 2. Jarrett Johnson has moved into 3rd. Kincaid and Mike Jenkins rounding out the top 5. So only 1 point separate 1st and 2nd. C.J. Greaves, the series points leader, he was looking for a win at Bark River. He wasn't able to do so. 2 second places, but he already has 3 victories on the season. He throw in a 10th place at Prim, where he broke a part of the A-arm, it seemed like, on his truck. So he had to, or a spindle, that's what it was. The spindle was broken in the first round. So one mechanical really has cost him, and he's still 1 point ahead of Chad Horde. Round 7 pro 2-wheel drive coming up just a moment from Crandon, Wisconsin. It is the Big House Brawl. Round 7 and 8. We'll be back with the start of the race here in just a moment.
I'm one of the owners for Total Chaos Fabrication. I'm also one of the drivers. We have to test our equipment. You have one opportunity to nab the money shot. I have to believe that it's going to be accessible and it's not going to fail on me. We'll travel with equipment like external WD hard drives. We have to trust that the equipment's going to protect our data. I have to believe in what I'm using, and I have to have trust in it.
As the velocity of change in the world increases, so does the promise of opportunity. For over 86 years, we've stayed true to the belief that if you put quality in, you get quality out. No matter the job, our equipment is built for it. No matter the ask, our dealers are up for it. No matter the challenge, you'll be ready for it. Build on a company that's built for it.
There's a live shot at the starting line getting ready for Pro 2. And right now, as we speak, Taylor Snyder is standing right next to C.J. Greaves. Taylor?
500, 600. What's your grand total here? $1,675.
Well, there's a wide-angle shot at the Forest County Potawatomi Community starting line of Pro 2s getting ready. At the far left, it looks like Nick Tyree starting in that number 1 spot to the far left. And to the far right, you've got Mikey Vandenheuvel jumping into the 2014 season. The Flying Dutchman, number 77, his first time behind the wheel of Pro 2 here in 2014. So it's going to be a very interesting start. That truck is very fast. He's a very aggressive kid behind the wheel.
Which one?
On the far right, Mikey Vandenheuvel.
So you're saying he's going to do that classic close down, the Flying Dutchman style?
You know, anything's a possibility. He kind of caught everybody off guard, including me. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. He come out of nowhere and was running up front. He almost is too aggressive. He kind of has to back it down a little bit, maybe slow it down to be quicker. I don't know. But you see Keith Steele in the number 29 right there. There's the number 2 of Steve Barlow in the Cat entry. And there's C.J. Greaves right alongside the second place in points would be Chad Horde. Jeff Kincaid, the number 4, 47. Mike Jenkins, 74 of Jarrett Johnson.
That must have been a 6-driver invert, right? Because CJ's 6 from the inside, and he's our points leader, so he drew
They inverted the number 6 positions. So it's not a bad. It's probably the best starting spot, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
If you go down there and watch the lines and the terrain changing or the elevation changes, even though it's like 2-3 feet here or a foot there. The middle, right around where he's at, probably between Jeff Kincaid and C.J. Greaves, right dead center of the screen, that is probably the smoothest spot into turn 1. And you're going to see these things catch some air off the whoop-de-doos, if you want to call it that, natural terrain. There's nothing man-made in that straightaway, but that's all natural terrain. So the trucks that stay on the ground will be getting into the turn first.
Sorry, we couldn't get that Taylor interview from you. I'll try and maybe relay what she had mentioned just a moment. She was talking to CJ, who we saw have struggles. We've heard alternator belt, we've heard power steering belt. Maybe they're one and the same. Maybe they both run the same pump. But CJ second from the outside there. Or excuse me, 4th from the outside there. One thing about this with this standing start, this land rush start, is there's no sight lap, no reconnaissance. So when you do track prep, usually in racing, they'll let you take a look. Even in Formula One, where you don't have any preparation, you still get that one sight lap. Here, when you're doing the land rush start, you don't have that sight lap. It might be muddy where you're not expecting it.
I just spoke to C.J. Greaves, who of course just got out of his pro light and into his Pro 2 to race out here in Crandon. Obviously, he had some technical difficulties in that pro light class. When I asked him what his plan is going into Pro 2, he said, "I hope I don't break." And of course, I asked him which class he likes better. He said Pro 2. His response, I think out of humor, I like to go fast. So hopefully we see some awesome action out here, but you can definitely count on C.J. Greaves bringing the heat.
I like that, bringing the heat. Thanks a lot, Taylor. Well, here's the thing to think about now. All of a sudden, you've got underneath the skin of one of the drivers, I hope I don't break. That's not what you want to be thinking about when you get behind the wheel of any race car, for that matter. You have to have 100% confidence in your equipment and how it was prepped. So I kind of wonder if he's got something, kind of biting him in the back of his head a little bit.
Yeah, Cowboy's getting ready to go. He's got his dance moves about to come out. It looked like somebody in a 4-wheeler race there for just a moment. This is round 7, the Pro 2-wheel drive. Your series points leader, C.J. Greaves, only 1 point ahead of Chad Horde. And this is both C.J. Greaves' backyard and Chad Horde just right down the road as well. I mean, this is where they're from. You pick your favorites right now.
There's Cowboy getting ready to get the signal from Face Desi. There it is. He's pointing at Mikey Vandenheuvel from Appleton, Wisconsin. Driving for Flying Dutchman Off-Road Racing, Lincoln Electric, and Max's Tires. Starting alongside him is Ari Leindyke out of Scottsdale, Arizona for Cooper Tires, Gunk, and Genius Tools, number 25. Keith Steele out of Madison, Wisconsin, driving a Chevy for Millennium Construction, Stone Mill Construction, and Wolverine Performance. He'll start numbers in the 7th spot. Starting 6th, C.J. Greaves from Green Bay, Wisconsin. He's driving for Maxis, Monster Energy, and Toyota. Alongside him, starting 5th, Chad Horde from Phelps, Michigan, driving for Boss Snowplow, Amsoil, and Maxis Tires. And starting 4th, Jeff Kincaid from Argonne, Wisconsin, driving for Traxxas Cooper Tires, and CrandonOffroad.com. Mike Jenkins out of Plano, Texas. Traxxas Cooper Tires, along with Jared Johnson, Husqvarna Chevrolet, and the Pulsar. Nick Tyree from San Diego, Tyree Motorsports, Diffenbaugh Construction and Max. Here they come in turn 1.
There goes Nick Tyree on the inside. Looks like maybe Chad Horde on the outside, taking the whole shot.
Chad Horde made it look so easy. And how about Jared Johnson trying to find a spot between Tyree and CJ Greaves, but somehow Greaves now goes to the middle.
Greaves trying to thread the needle there. Tyree got the better of that. Greaves now trying to take a more aggressive inside line, diving in harder and trying to do a slide job. Johnson looks pretty strong just behind them. He might make a pass. Johnson does.
Tyree just lose 2 spots right there to CJ Greaves and Johnson through the Polaris gravel pit turn. And as our leaders cross the Amsoil finish line to start the race, basically officially right now, it's Chad Horde, CJ Greaves. Oh, Johnson almost gets sideways, crossing the line. He won't lose his spot, but man, he almost lost it.
Johnson back in 3rd, Tyree 4th, Steve Barlow up in 5th in the cat truck, Jeff Kincaid 6th, Mike Vandenheuvel in 7th, Mike Deacons 8th, and Keith Steele rounding out the field.
Now, the track right now is real greasy in a lot of spots, if not the majority part of the racetrack. And where it's greasy, it's also, if you're running second on back, you will get roosted by some really ugly, pebblish gravel kind of clay. And it sticks to you when it comes on your top end.
Backed it into the front end
yeah,
of Johnson.
Over-rotated, and Johnson had nowhere to go. Man, look how far back that Kincaid is. That is really surprising right now.
Yeah, Jared Johnson had nowhere to go, like you said. I mean, when Nick Tyree came in there, he backed it in and basically threw the butt end of his truck into the front end of Jared Johnson, but took over position when he did so.
That's kind of like what you're going to see Pro 4s doing. They'll back into the corner literally down that straight into that tight left-hand 180. Chad Horde with a sizable lead right now in that Polaris gravel pit turn. Beautiful picture. The roof's being kicked up by those Maxxis tires as they come out of the corner.
After 4 laps, we'll see a competition yellow. Nick Tyree back in 3rd. I believe CJ Greaves just in front of him. Jared Johnson in 4th position. CJ, a little bit of separation.
Oh, puff of smoke on a Tyree.
Wonder if he has a tire, if there's anything that could be cutting when he swung that thing around. Left rear. I thought I saw a lot of smoke coming out of that left side. Maybe he's got some type of rub, I don't know. I thought I saw it coming from the wheel, though. Looks like we might have a pass. Johnson trying to get inside, or is that actually Mark? Is that Jenkins?
That's Kincaid.
Oh, it's Jeff Kincaid. It's Jeff Kincaid trying to get by Jared Johnson.
Yeah, that smoke is still there. This might give us a hint of what's going on with Tyree. And he's just, it looks like he's struggling. It just doesn't look very smooth at all through the turn. Barlow a little bit further back. He's trying to work his way forward as well.
And you were talking about how impressed you were with him.
Oh, and there's Tyree. Tyree's pulling off the track. He's headed to the hot pits. He did basically a U-turn and out of the race line, but he's going against traffic, so to speak, on the racetrack, trying to get into the hot pits. In fact, I think he's on fire. He's trying to get out. There may be something burning right now.
And the window deck came down pretty fast. A fair amount of smoke. And sometimes you can feel a little heat on the seat.
Trying to see if that's Whitey out there. Here come some of the track workers, but yeah, one of the USAC officials was there right away, and he knew what was going on. He grabbed the extinguisher right away.
It's tough when he stopped on a slide uphill right then when he gets out of the truck. He wanted to drop backwards. So quite a bit of separation between Chad Horde and CJ Greaves, about 2.5 seconds.
But CJ just took a second off that last lap.
But he doesn't even have to right now. Because if he's second, he starts nose to tail behind him at the competition yellow. The thing is, Jeff Kincaid has worked his way up into 3rd, but he's 9.5 seconds behind Jared Johnson into 4th, Steve Barlow into 5th.
Yeah, this is kind of where sometimes the first half of the race is a chess match. And from 3rd on back, they are racing for position. But 1st and 2nd, if they're separated from the rest of the field, they're just out there doing laps waiting for the flags to come out.
Yeah, you could be half a lap behind and know when the competition yellow comes out, you're going to be nose to tail again. So as long as you're second, you have a good shot. Oh, on 2 wheels, Steve Barlow, great save.
He was looking down at the dirt on that one.
That last turn, what do you call that, Argonne corner?
No, that's actually right over here. I don't think that's got a name, to be honest with you.
The last turn doesn't have a name?
It's out of the picture, actually. Yeah.
Or do they give it to him?
No, that wouldn't be it. That's no, not a name.
They didn't put it on the
The
map.
Widowmaker. I don't know.
We're digging deep on that one, huh? Ford, Greaves, Kincaid, Johnson, 1, 2, 3, and the bicycle of Barlow, but he saved it. Should be coming up close to the competition yellow here shortly. Watch the second truck in your picture here.
Coming into the corner, throws it nice into the turn. Big push. That's where it was at. He had a understeer. Couldn't make the corner. We couldn't get it to rotate, and all of a sudden the back tires weren't spinning. Did you catch it?
Right.
They weren't turning. It looked like he had brake bias on, so he stabbed the brake thinking it would come around. Instead, it should have been spinning. And kind of got him up on 2 wheels.
See the 77
There's Mikey
there, Mike
Van Den
Heuvel.
He's got he's a really talented fabricator and a welder. I mean, it's just pieces of art, absolute pieces of art. And he's known for making custom headers. And you have to be pretty darn precise.
Oh, yeah.
To be a welder and make head. Again, it's a big over rotation. Not once, but twice. And you scrub off a ton of speed momentum doing that, Steve.
Not getting that forward drive, that forward bike he's looking for. When you're slapping the rear end right and left, you're not getting that forward jump.
There's Mike Jenkins, that tracks number 47 on Plano, Texas. Yeah, I think everybody right now at this point is probably playing the halfway ball. Oh, Chad Horde pulls off the track. Our leader, Chad Horde, pulls off the track. Oh, man.
What happened?
Wow.
I was looking around a pylon that I had in front of me, looking to see if they were getting the competition yellow.
And no puff of smoke, no steam, no nothing. And it's 1 lap before the competition yellow. And that just meant one sudden explosion and what was a 1-point deficit to start the race.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Wow. This changes everything.
Well, we're still not but halfway through.
But keep in mind, you got a young driver out there now with the lead. Probably got a little bit more confidence than what he had when he started the race. But is that comment he may going to come back to haunt him where I hope I just don't break? You know, gosh, that so surprised me.
He may know something we don't, or he's saying, yeah, I'll win this thing as long as I don't throw a belt. Like, it may have happened. Jeff Kincaid's going to push into second place on this lap. So Kincaid, albeit 14.5 seconds behind C.J. Greaves that last time around, is in good position because he's going to be less than a second when they go to take the green flag the next time.
Right in the back bumper. And again, Kincaid coming off last year's race, probably one of the most dramatic races of his life, as the competition comes out just a few weeks after his father passed away, coming back here to Crandon without a sponsorship and winning the race for his dad. So the competition yellow is out. C.J. Greaves has got the lead. We'll be back in just a couple minutes for the second half.
Emergency safety crews depend on their gas-powered equipment to start when they need it. That's why they use VP small engine fuels, formulated with no ethanol to prevent fuel system damage and ensure easier starts. Designed for both 2- and 4-cycle engines. Try VP small engine fuels for your gas-powered tools so they'll start when you need them. Order online at homedepot.com or visit your local dealer.
Welcome back once again here to Crandon, Wisconsin, the Northwoods part of the state. We're at Crandon International Off-Road Raceway. It's round 7 of Pro 2 2014 season, and we're under competition yellow, and just out of sight is Richie Kuloff on our pace truck, guiding the field around the racetrack, getting ready to come back to green flag racing.
Jeff Kincaid was behind C.J. Greaves, almost 20 seconds with Jarrett Johnson on his tail. They will now all be within, what, 2 seconds after they cross the green flag, or 1 second even after they take the green for the second time. So they're slowing them down. That's what happens when you're that far in front. So they need to back up the field a little bit.
Actually, what I think is happening in situations like this, there's really no reason to be going that slow other than the fact that I think it's due to TV. I'll venture to bet they're doing something with TV right now, so they need a little bit of time to kind of slow things down. So what? Everyone's pointing at something. There's
somebody down, broken down in there. Yeah, someone's broken down there below us out of sight. So they're trying to keep them down so they will have a clear track. The 47 of Mike Jenkins.
Yeah, there's Chad Horde, and we're getting reports now the 47 of Mike Jenkins is off the side of the track. So that's probably what they got the field slowed down for, to try and get Mike off the track. And actually, you can see the track crew right now kind of consoling Chad Horde.
Tapped him on his shoulder, said, "Man, I had $5 on you. I
Dude,
was wanting you to
I
win
feel for you. I feel for you, man. I was rooting for you the whole time."
Why'd you put him in a Texas accent?
I got me a boss snowplow too. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to feel for him. That's 2 races in a row with a DNF. Remember, he caused himself, and now this one looks like some type of mechanical.
Yeah, that's what they call catastrophic failure. So looks like Mike Jenkins is back rolling. What's interesting, I got reports this afternoon that for the Cup race this weekend, Mike Jenkins will be running in his Pro 4. He is giving Keegan Kincaid his Pro 2 to run in the Cup race. So we were wondering what was going on this morning during practice. Practice and qualifying was done, and all of a sudden the 47 Pro 2 came out again for like 2 laps or so. That was actually Keegan Kincaid behind the wheel of a Pro 2. And I guess Mike Jenkins is giving Keegan the opportunity to run a Pro 2 in the Cup race tomorrow afternoon. Yeah.
So here you go. Hand him the keys. I mean, there are no keys, of course, but I mean, that's pretty cool if somebody can do that.
Keegan's got some talent. I mean, he's been pretty diversified in what he's been racing this year. He's been running in the Pro Light. He's also been getting the opportunity to run in the Robbie Gordon Stadium Series, which they don't run in stadiums, so, you know. But Keegan's been driving that truck. Nick Baumgartner's up here trying to get some camera time. Go away, Nick. No! He also runs, he ran at the X Games in the Robbie Gordon trucks.
I said the last time I see Nick, and we both were wearing different clothes, I think it might have been in Idaho covering a snowboard cross event. So it's been a while.
Mikey Vanderbilt, Mike Jenkins is rolling once again. Key Steele in the unsponsored number 29 out of the Madison area. He runs pretty much just the Crandon races. Looks like we're going to coming back to green through the Forest County Potawatomi turn 1.
Golly, I don't know how you remember that.
You kind of get, you know.
Forest County Potawatomi turn 1. I had one in Arena Cross one time, the Conocelli Autoplex Triples, and I always thought that was the most uncomfortable title of an obstacle, but I think that may take it. What's our top one? What's our top one? The Walker Evans Shocks Lincoln Welders back straightaway or front straightaway?
Skybox back straightaway. Here they come through turn 1. Kuloff pulls off in the pace truck. CJ Greaves has a point, but Jeff Kincaid and Barlow are right there in tow, going green in just seconds.
Kincaid looked like a ball snowplow. He was trying to push CJ Greaves to catch that orange cone. Well, look, Kincaid getting pretty good drive on that inside. Look at him coming down that straight. He might have a little something for him in this half.
I can guarantee you this, through that competition yellow, Kincaid put a little extra snap on those 5-point harness, and he's going to work. Like you said earlier, he was 20 seconds behind in the first half, and now he's got new life, and he's going to work. Mikey Vanderbilt going outside of Mike Jenkins. They make slight contact. They're leading each other big time as they cross the Amsoil finish line.
Steve Barlow had worked his way into third on that lap, so he moved up as well into third, I believe.
Through the Argonne corner, Vanderbilt in fourth, Jenkins in fifth, Steele in sixth.
I didn't see Jarrett Johnson that time, and he's on our time and in scoring.
Yeah.
Did you?
Jarrett Johnson is out. We're getting reports now that he's out. I don't know where, but he's off the track. But if we were to go by timing and scoring, right now in front of us on the screen is telling us that actually it didn't change since
it had
the restart.
Reset. That's right. So evidently once they cross and get their complete that first lap, that 6th lap, then it will update on our board, and we will update you throughout the weekend. And CJ Greaves out in front.
Wow, did he take a high line? The player scramble picture, and he was like on the lip of going over the edge. He was so high on the outside.
I think he was trying to find something. I think he says, I've got to test it now. I might make a mistake and have a chance to recuperate, but if I'm taking the line that I feel slower, I better go ahead and take my chances right now, don't you think? I mean, you're out in front, you drop back one, you still have time. If you screw up in that last lap, you take a slower line, you're liable to be caught.
You know, in sprint car racing, I love watching those front tires sometimes because they go full lock to full lock, left to right, so often, even down the straightaways. And that's kind of like what CJ's doing right now in the corners. He's going full lock to the left or the right, and you're just watching the front tires dance along the top of this racetrack.
Yeah, people wonder, how is he turning left when his wheels are turning right? It's just all part of the program, steering it around with the rear end. Good race back there in, what, 3rd,
Wow, here
4th,
comes Mike
5th.
Jenkins. This is for the final podium spot. They're 3 wide through the corner. Barlow on the outside, Vanderbilt on the middle, and Jenkins over-rotates and goes all the way around.
Nice dance move, the pirouette, but not good in Torc off-road trucks. That hurt. He didn't lose a position, but he lost a lot of ground.
That basically almost probably took him out of any chance of the podium. And I think he may have lost a spot to Keith Steele. I'm not sure. Yes, he has. Yeah, he lost 1 spot to Steele. And there's a big blue groove forming right at the Here where are we, man? Oh, yeah, there's a big blue groove forming at the Ponzi North America turn 2.
Gotcha.
The barn turn.
Barlow getting a lot of pressure from Mike Van de Heuvel. Look at Van de Heuvel. He's trying to stick a wheel in anywhere he can. He says, I'm going to go inside here. Barlow trying to shut it down. Van de Heuvel now takes the outside line, going to get a flag one more time.
There's that aggressive driving. He bounces off that outside blue wall as he crosses the line. And, man, you can't be doing too much of that. You tear up some equipment or even pop the sidewall of that tire. But he's definitely going after Barlow, trying to get that last podium spot.
Driving it in. That's 2, 3, and 4.
Here comes Barlow one more time in that cat number 2 out of Temecula, California. Mikey Vanderbilt up on 2 wheels out of Appleton.
Actually, that was 3, 4, and 5. Jeff Kincaid still not able to make up any ground on CJ
Whoa,
Greaves.
he goes way outside.
He's trying to find some ground, isn't he?
Oh, he found it all right.
He was a 1.5 seconds the last time, taking the flag behind.
Whoa.
We'll see what it is this time.
The door was open just for a moment right here in front of us. Vanderbilt tried to go to the inside. Barlow, after he turned left down the front straightaway. Vanderbilt now leaning on that back bumper of Barlow. Just about danced on his back bumper. Now going to the outside.
Whoa, look at him charging in. Can he slow it down? Off of it. Now cut down to the inside. See if he can get the drive. Now he kept taking wide and wide and extra wider, and I think that hurt him. He almost caught some of those flags on the side of the track.
And the white flag is out. 1 lap remaining. Time is running out for Jeff Kincaid to make a run at CJ Greaves. He lost 0.2 of a second on that last lap. But the real action, I think, right now is for that last podium spot with Vanderbilt and Barlow battling. Oh, and there goes a tire. Right front flat tire on Vanderbilt as he popped that inside wall. You saw that little puff of smoke, that little white powdery stuff. He popped the sidewall, pinched the sidewall, and popped instantly as soon as he touched that wall.
The right front is?
Yes.
He's doing a darn good job holding on to it with no right front on it. Looks
The
like
left front, I'm sorry.
Okay.
The left front.
I was focusing on the wrong front. I'm right now focusing on CJ Greaves. It was 1.70 seconds his advantage, and I don't know. It's probably every bit still the same.
Once again, Kincaid goes way to the outside of the Ponzi North America turn 2. Time is running out. Kincaid has to get on it hard right now with 2 turns remaining. Through the Polaris gravel pit turn up towards the track launch zone. Time has run out. I'm calling it right now. Greaves will come back for the win as he makes the final corner, now aimed at the Amsoil finish line. The Monster Energy Toyota, the number 33 of CJ Greaves, will take the win. The Traxxas number 4 from Argonne. Jeff Kincaid will take second.
Kincaid a good points day in second, because remember, Chad Horde, who sits second in points, and Jared Johnson in third, DNF to this race. So a good points day for CJ Greaves as well as Jeff Kincaid.
And here comes Keith Steele. Steele trying to get around Vanderbilt for that 4th spot and can't quite do it.
So Barlow, Vandenheuvel, and Steele, good race till the finish there. So Vandenheuvel able to hold on with that popped bead. Mike Jenkins going to round out the top 6 last guys on that lead lap. We'll hear from our podium finishers and as they climb out of the car here right after this.
We had these torrential downpours, and these trucks are not designed to have another 2,000 pounds of mud put on them, and then you pack the radiators tight. The tranny gauge, the water gauge, the oil gauge, everything's pegged. The Amsoil product came through for us and kept the rear end, the transmission, and the engine all running fine. And I tell you what, we were ready to go for the next day and pretty proud of it.
The fastest name in radio control.
Welcome back, everybody. We're at Northern Wisconsin at Crandon International Off-Road Raceway. As you see our top 3 finishers up towards the podium. Let's take a look at some of that race action we just witnessed. And there's actually more going on than what we thought. There's a lot of attrition in this race. There's Cowboy getting them all fired up and ready to go. There's the green flag as they come into Forest County Potawatomi turn 1. Is that a sight or what? Hey. Little contact between Jenkins and Kincaid, and side-by-side racing with Chad Horde and Nick Tyree out of San Diego.
Yeah, Tyree had the inside, Horde had the outside. Unfortunately, Horde had a problem shortly thereafter. It wasn't long. He was out in front. Looks like he was pulling away like we saw him in the first race at Bark River. Here's what a bicycle looks like. Steve Barlow and the cat truck doing a good job, hooked up a little too good at one time. And there's what Chad Horde pulls off fairly early in the race, in the first half of the race. And C.J. Greaves, you know, that had to put a smile on his face.
You know, I really don't think so, but I think it made things a little bit more intense for him. But then second half, Kincaid started right in the back bumper, but it's kind of like C.J. It's okay, man, I know where you're at, and you're going to stay right there. None closer, none further away. And this is where things start to get exciting. Vanderbilt will start getting a new fresh breath of air, I think I should say, as Jenkins goes all the way around. Pretty much takes him out of any chance at a final podium spot. CJ just is on a rail, keeps on digging. Kincaid still there, no closer, no further away. Once again, here they come through turn 1. And we had a great battle going on for that 3rd and 4th spot, but right there's a checkered flag. CJ takes the win, Kincaid 2nd. And Barlow again, 3 straight races on the podium, man.
3 straight races in 3rd place, so 3's his lucky number.
I'd say let's go buy a lottery ticket.
Not sure what happened with Chad Horde. Maybe Taylor could get some information from him if she's over there near the podium. And Horde, they had to pull up. Maybe we can get it. Welcome back, everybody, and we're trying to get the scoop on what happened as they do track preparation. We haven't heard from our winner, C.J. Greaves, again, and he's still got one more race to go. That's the funny part, the thing that just feels a little weird, doesn't it?
Well, there's a lot of things happen that you're not prepared for, and I'm looking at the track right now, and I'm kind of surprised by seeing all the track work, all the maintenance, and that's what we talked about earlier today with they almost overdo it to stay on top or stay ahead of the track going away. And we talked about that big rut forming right here in the Parsons Chevrolet chicane, and they're out there filling it in right now.
But I don't think the track got away from them. I think this is just a drier.
They're staying on top of it.
Yeah, it's a drier condition. I think that, you know, just like you said, they're trying to keep that from happening. There is some blue groove going on. We saw just a moment ago, what was it, Jeff Kincaid trying to take the extreme outside lines going into turn 2, the wide sweeper. You have to do that. I mean, that's it. And I like it. When it starts getting a little drier through the day, I like it when it starts opening up those inside lanes, because it always allows for the bonsai move, because the guy's trying to find grip. He's going a longer distance, just like in a track race. When you're running with your feet, you don't want to be on that outside lane if you don't have to be on that outside lane.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like Taylor Sanders got our top 3 finishers at the podium. Let's head it on down to the podium with Taylor and our 3 top finishers. Taylor!
Testing? Yes. All right, we're going to make this podium real fast for you guys so we get into some more racing tonight. But I'm going to talk to our 3rd place finisher, Steve Barlow. Steve, we saw you up here in Bark River. Always great to see you back up here again. Talk a little bit about racing at the Big House.
You know, we had a little incident in qualifying. We didn't qualify that great, and I was starting next to CJ because he was the inversion. And I just knew if I could stay with him, I had a shot, and we got a great start. In this track, you know, there's so much going on here. You know, this is the fastest track we run on, and everybody seems to bring their A game. And we had some good racing, but Caterpillar Ford, you know, back on the podium again, and we couldn't be more happier.
Awesome. Anyone else you like to thank?
Yeah, I like Maxxis tires, you know, Drive Capital, Outdoor Energy, all these guys is why we're here. You know, we couldn't do it without them, and all my crew and family, you know, they support me and make this happen for me. Thank you.
All right, give it up for Steve Barlow, everyone. Moving on over to our 2nd place finisher, Jeff Kincaid. Jeff, obviously a fan favorite out here. You got to watch your son, Keegan Kincaid, take home that win earlier today. It's got to give you some motivation going into that race.
Oh, yeah, he set the goal high on the day, you know, and hard to follow. You know, I didn't get a good start, got mudded all through the first. I just had to start picking him off, but didn't have enough for him today. We'll go back and work on her, get a little more gear in her, and see if we can put a show on you for tomorrow. You know, can't say enough for Traxxas. You know, tires ran, Cooper ran really good, and good. Todd Goodwin race engines are very powerful, so you know, we'll see what we can do tomorrow.
All right, give it up for him, everyone. Jeff Kincaid. Moving on up to our winner in the class, CJ Greaves. CJ, I tried to talk to you earlier. You came up with some humor. You like to go fast, and obviously you did just that today.
You know, we had a great truck. We qualified #1. We had some little issues after qualifying, but my crew worked their butts off. Hats off to them, every one of them that had their hands in there. I mean, I couldn't do it without them, and the Lord for keeping me safe. All you fans, Crandon, all you guys, all the track crew, everyone that keeps us out here, my family, friends, Monster, Toyota, Maxxis, Forest County, Potawatomi, Amsoil, everyone that helps us out, big thanks to them.
All right, everyone, give it up for your Pro 2 podium today here at Crandon. Steve Barlow, Jeff Kincaid, and CJ Greaves.
Shane, do you want this back? Bring it on.
Oh, I know why. And I... Well, there's a live shot of the Pro 4 starting line. And the intense moment, you see Mike Jenkins getting ready to crawl inside that number 47. You see the window net down on Ross Hook and that no grappler tire, number 10. He's out of Holland, Michigan. And you see Mark Jenkins with his hat, with the famous hat on backwards, taking a little sip of water, getting ready to crawl inside his truck as well. So still got a little bit of time before the Pro 4 race. The CJ was on the podium just a moment ago, and he has to get back that starting line. I'm trying to see if there's a 33 Pro 4 at the line to see if he's actually running it. So let's see here. Yeah, he's in our lineup, but I don't see the number 33 at the line.
You saving it for tomorrow?
Could be, I don't know, but he's in our lineup for starting this afternoon.
Maybe they have him in the truck over there and he's going to drive it around.
That'd be quicker to get over there on a scooter or a golf cart.
True. We'll have to see. We can't do anything about it. I like seeing how they're watering actually the whole shot straight as well.
Oh, there's interesting. Steve Barlow going back to the pits.
On a toe?
On a toe, yeah.
They forgot to put gas in it.
Yeah, they run it to the line, right to the edge. Well, the last race of the afternoon is coming up in just a moment, but in the meantime, we're going to step away, take a quick breather, and we'll be back right after this with the Pro 4 race.
When adventure calls, count on the Trail Grappler to get you to your destination, wherever that may be. Large, innovative tread blocks provide additional biting edges to help you command the most challenging terrains as you discover new trails. The Trail Grappler's 3-ply sidewall and thick rubber construction aids puncture resistance and provides durability when you need it most. Nitto Trail Grappler, where road meets trail.
What is it that makes a Husqvarna dealer a Husqvarna dealer? Well, just look close at the engineering in our outdoor power equipment. We're known for high performance and reliability in everything we make. So is it any wonder your Husqvarna dealer is also known for high performance and reliability in everything they do. With a nationwide network of Husqvarna dealers, there's one just around the corner.
Welcome back to Crandon International Raceway, off-road raceway here in Crandon, Wisconsin, round 7 and 8. This is the Big House Brawl, be the first of 2 times we make our way to Crandon this year. Second one be even larger, but we have a great time here today, but we do it, you know, so well, we do it again. We had so much fun today, we're going to do it again tomorrow. Some sportsman racing as well as the Pro 2, Pro 4, and Pro Lights. Not necessarily in that order. You see the Pro 4s, these are the big boys, the bad boys coming up next. Pro 4 points leader, Johnny Greaves. Been strong. He didn't end on a good note in Bark River. I'm sure he's trying to get back from that, but he already has 3 wins on the year out of 6 rounds. So 50% of the rounds he has won. Adrian Chaney started off the season with a victory. Then Greaves had a couple. Throw in Scott Douglas as well as, yeah, Scott Douglas will be the last one. So.
My question right now is, we saw CJ go by on a bike on a little scooter on his way on the track back up to the pit. So my question is, he's not in staging. He's not running in Pro 4. Yeah, okay, my question was just answered.
Okay.
I was wondering if CJ was going to run his brand new Pro 4 in the points race. Because it wasn't a lineup, but we don't see the truck on in the picture here. So there's Scott O'Connor one more time on Mr. GoPro, getting all the trucks taken care of and get the cameras. Well, it sounds like we got Taylor down at the starting line. Taylor, who do you have? What's going on?
There are definitely a lot of tough competitors out here in this Pro 4 category, but the guy you definitely want to keep an eye on is Mark Jenkins. Now, Johnny Greaves has always proved successful here in his hometown of Crandon, Wisconsin, but Mark Jenkins definitely has some tricks up his sleeve, so make sure you keep an eye out for that number 25 Traxxas truck.
It has nothing to do with him winning at the last round at Bark River, too. So he is on a roll. And we saw that happen, what, in an earlier class today as well, what, in Pro Light as well. You kind of try and get on those rolls and just keep them rolling.
Well, you know, it's kind of like riding a bike, I call it, because it's like when you figure out that balance point and how to ride a bike, you got it figured out, now you know. Well, he's got a taste of winning again. And once you've got that taste, you know what it takes to win a race. So that taste is real fresh in his mouth just yet, and he wants it again. So watch for him. He's been really, really good, really, really smooth, and really, really aggressive, and probably one of the more fun, entertaining drivers to watch on the track. Some guys are real stealth and real smooth and don't kind of draw attention to themselves. Some guys are, you know, Adrian Chaney and Mark Jenkins style.
I was going to say, so which one's Mark? What do you say?
Yeah, you know, so Mark is, you know, he'll race you like like you race him. You touch him, well, he might touch you a little bit harder than what you did him, but he'll definitely let you know that he's there. But he's not a dirty driver by any means, but he's fun to watch and very, very entertaining, and he's even more fun to interview at the podium. He's fun. He's got some great one-liners.
Are they working on the inside front left? Is that his? What are they doing in there?
That's Scott O'Connor. That's he's working on a GoPro, or he's got to be working on a camera right there.
That's a crazy mount.
It's not going to last for very long, I would guess.
They got a pretty hard case, but yeah, you think you would get a lot of roost on that rocker panel.
And besides that, that's on the door that's on the side that is next to Adrian Cheney. How long do you think it's going to last?
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen the Wild Man. We've seen a little more of the Mild Man. You talked about injury or sickness the last time we saw him at Bark River, I believe, wasn't it? What, he the one that had, he just wasn't himself.
Yeah, both him, Steve Barlow, and Adrian Cheney. There's Cowboy giving the thumbs up. Here we go. Mark Kwame's on the pole, and the Popcorn Sutton's White Whiskey Realtree Outdoor Energy Drink, number 5. Scott Douglas out of El Cajon, California, driving the Amsoil Boil Exhaust Toyo Tire, number 7. Johnny Greaves out of Green Bay. Mark Jenkins out of Plano, Texas. Adrian Cheney out of St. John, Virgin Islands. Mike Jenkins out of Plano, Texas. C.J. Greaves, oh, he's not making the call. And Ross Hook out of Holland, Michigan. And then Johnny Greaves with the hole shot.
Mark Jenkins looked like one of the Traxxas off-road cars. He was popping wheelies down the front straightaway. A little bit lift. Oh, somebody's setting up early. Who is that?
Scott Douglas.
Yes, boy, that was a nice setup into that first or that second turn.
Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I'll predict this. Watch him, Scott Douglas, set that truck up back in that tight left-hand 180. He will back it in even harder than Steve Kinzer. First time through the Polaris gravel pit turn. Johnny Greaves, Scott Douglas, Mark Jenkins, Mike Jenkins, Adrian Cheney.
This is after a track preparation in between the races. Adrian Cheney tries diving in on Mike Jenkins and spins around. He loses.
Oh, left front broken. The left front of Adrian Cheney is broken, pointed in the wrong direction. Looks like he broke a ball joint. And yeah, his front tires are cross-eyed.
He had to have done it to himself, though. I saw him doing a bonsai move, and you take the chances and you pay the price sometimes.
Yeah, here's another look at what happened with Adrian Cheney just a moment ago that took him out of this race. He comes in way hard.
How late.
He's got the car turned.
He can't slow it down, though.
Yeah. And luckily nothing happens to Mike Jenkins, but absolutely just, you see both tires are pointed right at each other. So his day is done. There's no making a way back to Hopkins, maybe get something fixed. And well, the major players have already up to the front. Johnny Greaves, Scott Douglas, and Mark Jenkins.
So the number 3 guy in points, Adrian Cheney, is now out of this race with a DNF, so he's going to lose ground. Scott Douglas back in, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th place championship point stand. Again, this is before the competition yellow. We've seen it before, guys. Just play cat and mouse just a little bit. I don't expect to see that from the 25 of Mark Jenkins. I think he wants to get in second before he kind of plays it safe. That hole starting to develop again in that one section as we're taking a look up close at Mark Jenkins in the 2.5. There's the turn you were saying to look for Scott Douglas.
No, watch.
Oh, God, I'm missing him. I'm one off.
Yeah, the one turn coming up next. Here comes Johnny. He'll set up pretty decent, but he'll keep it tight to the inside, I believe. Maybe let the truck work to the outside. No, about mid. Still early, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, Scott is
let the track dry out some.
Square it up and go to that inside line much more, though, it looks like.
But they are entering into the Forest County Potawatomi turn 1, way on the outside, exiting the corner up against the inside rail. So they found the fast line through turn 1.
Yeah, you don't see much lifting at this track. A lot faster than the other tracks. I thought Bark River is fast. This place is even faster.
Yeah, I kind of think right now you were correct in making the call. They're playing a little bit of cat and mouse. I even think that Mark and Mike Jenkins are not happy where they're at, but they're okay with it. They'll kind of play it out. If something happens and something comes to them in the first half, that's one thing, but they're not going to go out and tear their stuff up. We're going to reel in our leaders in the first half.
Before the caution, when you know you're about to start nose to tail again. And I think that's definitely the case with Mark Jenkins. And remember, there's a Mark Kwame out there as well. Johnny Greaves, the first lap or second lap around, 1.785 was the interval, the differential between himself and Scott Douglas.
Was just told that there's going to be an autograph session with all of our drivers at the Torc merchandise trailer right after this race.
Whoa.
Oh, Johnny Greaves.
Squared it up too much, and there's Douglas ready to take advantage. Can he get the drive?
No, he had to throw his truck sideways as a braking maneuver, so he wouldn't touch it.
Oh, man. I think Johnny was trying to search for some better grip up top, and he got it. His grip came to a stop. Let's look at that one more time. That's the one where you said look out for Douglas, and we were looking out for Greaves.
Yeah, Greaves just,
yeah. He run it up.
Douglas is in a total, right now, he's like trying to get out of it.
He's
Great job by him.
Save mode. Watch him hit a rut. Ooh.
Now look how soft and loamy it is. That is almost, I won't call it, well, it's, loamy.
He's kind of in no man's land, though. He was stuck as he was out there. He was trying to save it. Scott Douglas behind him was trying to save it, not just totally broadside Johnny Greaves and bring himself around.
As I started to say before that incident, all of our pro drivers will be signing autographs at the Torc merchandise trailer right after this race. And I believe the trailer is in Manufacturers Midway, right at the entrance coming from the parking lot into the infield, into the track area. So once again, all of our pro drivers will be doing autographs right after this race at the Torc merchandise trailer.
Look at this race to the cross flags, basically what it is right now for the first half of the race. Still Johnny Greaves ahead of Scott Douglas, Mark Jenkins, Mike Jenkins third and fourth, Ross Hook, Kwame, and Adrian Cheney is out.
Yeah, that's a tough break. I mean, it didn't seem like he hit Mike Jenkins all that hard and do all that front end damage, but evidently it doesn't take much. He did it just right, and both trucks.
I think Douglas closing in a little bit. Is that by choice of Johnny Greaves or not, trying to save the truck a little bit or the tires, but I think Douglas closes in at times on Johnny.
You know, it's such a hard thing to figure out what some of these guys do to their trucks and how they set them up. Obviously, they set them up for the second half of the race. Yeah, look at Douglas. He is really, really starting to throw that AMSOIL forward into the turns, especially in the Polaris gravel pit turn. Still no competition yellow. Oh, man. Douglas cut that lead in half from the last lap. Still seems fairly sizable, but when you're going that fast, even a 8, 9, 10 car length lead can go away in a heartbeat when you're going that fast.
Right, 1.573 the last time around. Johnny setting up that truck, and I think we're seeing him set up farther outside than he did earlier. I think he missed his turn-in point. The one time he had problems in that left, I think he come in a little steeper, a little too steep, missed that turn-in point, and he was just like, save it, save it, save it. And that's what Douglas is doing right behind him as well.
Yeah, what's Doc Hudson from Cars? Remember he teaches the car, the race car. You got to turn. Yeah, you got to turn right before you can turn left.
Yeah.
Now watch these guys when they come down that long straightaway into that tight left-hand 180. They're turning right before they can turn left.
Call it a Scandinavian flick.
Okay.
That's what drift, not drifting, but
rally
cars. Rally cars set the car up into those turns, and they're doing that constantly. It's good sometimes. You don't want to get too aggressive, or you're just scrubbing speed.
It's hard
for no
to
reason.
see when they're into corners like this and when it's out in front of us, but when they're coming straight at you or straight at the camera, and there's the competition yellow. We'll see that at the second half, but not on this lap. Johnny Greaves has the points. Scott Douglas in second. Mark Jenkins third. Mike Jenkins fourth. Ross Hook the top five. We'll be back for the second half of the final race of this afternoon here in Pro 4 right after this.
Welcome back to the final race this afternoon, the Pro 4x4. This is the final race for our professionals. We'll kick things off again tomorrow morning, but right now Johnny Greaves at the halfway point has Scott Douglas on his tail, followed by Mark Jenkins, Mike Jenkins, Ross Hook, and Mark Kwame. This is the last race of the afternoon. We're halfway through. So this is the competition yellow, so they restack them, re-rack them, and get ready to go as they head down the front straightaway in the orange cone zone and looking for the green flag. So is Johnny backing down a little bit, or does Douglas have a little more in the tank, do you think?
I think Douglas has got a little bit more. I think Johnny's got maybe have a little bit more, but I'm going to watch the restart and kind of see what Johnny Greaves may have for strategy and what Douglas is going to do. Douglas has been known to lay off a little bit and get a good run at the start, and then he's been also known to actually lean on that back bumper, and it looks like he's doing some leaning right now as he comes through the corner.
The last round at Charlotte, round 4 in Charlotte, was the last victory by Scott Douglas. Johnny Greaves already with wins in Primm, Charlotte, Bark River. Can he win here in Crandon?
Look how close Douglas is on the back bumper. Johnny Greaves. Here we go, Crandon, the last race of the afternoon.
Oh, he tried to dive with a different line on that inside. That inside's going to push him a little bit wider heading into that left-hand sweeper.
Oh, Kwame got the inside dirt wall in turn 2 and spun himself around, so he's way back now.
Also, is this the time for Mark Jenkins to step it up? We wondered how he was going to do this second half. Now that they're nose to tail, can Mark Jenkins turn it up? That's who Taylor said to watch for.
Now keep in mind, depending upon the transmissions that Johnny's running a 5-speed. I don't know what Douglas is running. He kind of bounces back and forth, 5-speed to a 3-speed automatic. I don't know, but that can play a factor as the track drives out in the second half, getting out of these corners, trying to find traction, because you go bam, 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 bam through the gears. You're not tire spinning, but yet you're accelerating through the corners. Now watch, they turn right before they turn left, and look at Douglas. He is definitely, oh man!
He over-rotated.
No, he didn't over-rotate. He backed it in, but it hit something, and it spun him back around.
It looked like he over-rotated and had to let it catch, and it caught, and it hooked him back the other way. That's what I thought. I saw him back it in like you told us to look for, but sometimes if you do that, you can get a little carried away, and you've got to flip the throttle to get it to try and catch up a little bit.
So they're starting to separate a little bit, but that's not surprising on a restart of any kind, because I don't know what it is. They separate, but then as the race comes to an end, they start to come back together again. I can't figure out why that is, but it happens almost every single time.
Got to find their groove right now. Johnny Greaves in a groove. You talked about his transmission of 5-speed, but you said before he used a 5-speed that's a sequential gearbox. So it's like a manual, but you just bump it forward and bump it back, whether you're upshifting or downshifting.
Equal gap all the way from between first and second, to second and third and fourth. And Ross Hook has got some damage on his truck, even though it may be nothing but cosmetic, but we missed what happened here. Now watch him turn right before he turns left. This is pretty darn cool. Douglas even more dramatic as he backs it in big time again.
He's trying to square it up and get that inside. You see how wide Mark Jenkins is taking it?
Yeah.
I think Douglas is trying to square it up and get the forward drive and do that track theory. Don't go the long line around.
Yeah.
But the tires have to grab to do that and have the horsepower to pull it up.
2 points is a straight line. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, it seems to be working
Oh
for him.
man, he made up a little bit of ground. It was just a tick under 2 seconds between first and second on the last lap, and maybe about the same right now, but Douglas appears to, he's making a big time ground headed into the Polaris gravel pit turn.
He got some grip right there though too. It's not just about taking the line. You've got to have grip in that line to propel yourself forward.
As I said, it was 1.9 before, and look how, wow.
He's got such early setup. He's really setting that truck up early and backing in.
1.9 seconds on the last lap, this time by 0.5.
Left rear on Johnny going down.
Douglas goes inside. There it is. Left rear is definitely going down on Johnny Greaves. They swap positions going to the Argonne corner. Douglas for a second, had the lead. Johnny comes right back, but you can see it right there. Left rear is going down in our leader. And that may not be all that bad, to be honest with you, because that tire on this whole track, there's only one turn that it really is the disadvantage.
This one. Can you imagine turning that left rear into a plow going 100 miles an hour or whatever it takes into there?
If he can keep that thing together, the sidewall together, they run interliners, so they keep, there's a tire inside the tire. As long as that sidewall stays together, Johnny's got a shot.
Now you've got the right-hander and at the finish line. That's another one where you're going to be really biting with those left side tires. We've seen him hold on before.
He's not saving it, man. Look at it. Just throw that truck into the corner. There's the white flag.
Look at this.
Whoa, we got us a race, Crandon. Left rear flat tire, Johnny Greaves, and he's still kicking up rocks with that tire.
Crowd's starting to get on their feet. This is the last chance. We'll see if Johnny Greaves can hold on. Can that tire hold on? Greaves on the Maxxis Toyota. Just needs about 3/4 of a lap left, and you see Mark Jenkins back there too, trying to, maybe he smells blood in the water.
Oh, and Douglas is on. Left rear and Douglas is gone. Douglas lost a complete left rear tire, shredded.
And that's why Mark Jenkins smells blood in the water. He's got 2 sharks ahead of him that are injured.
Oh, man, here we go. And Greaves is going up. The sidewall and Greaves' truck is going away.
It's like a grenade. He is just throwing shrapnel left and right.
Here comes Mark Jenkins inside of Douglas.
So Jenkins going to take second. No question there. The race is going to be for the lead. Can Greaves hold on? Because that thing was throwing. It looked like a chipper shredder.
It popped hard, and it just went skybar.
Look at this. Only 3 turns left.
And this is the ugly one right here. Greaves throws it. Jenkins throws it. 3-wheel drive. Oh, man, Jenkins got time.
This is going to be close. On your feet. What do you think, Crandon? 1 more turn to go. Who's going to win this thing?
Greaves stays inside. Jenkins got nowhere to go.
Except for the win.
Maybe.
Mark Jenkins takes it by 0.03 of a second over Johnny Greaves. Maybe the closest race in Torc history right there, ladies and gentlemen.
0.033.
33 1,000ths of a second.
Take a look at this. Here it is.
On the video board.
Greaves trying to keep it tight the inside. Couldn't do it. Jenkins gets a drive out of the corner and right at the line. Here it is, a better shot.
And it's where that beacon is as well. It might not be quite to where that post is. It might be back just a tad. All I know is that is 33 1,000ths of a second differential, and maybe Taylor knew something. She said to watch out for Mark Jenkins. I said he was smelling blood in the water closing in on Scott Douglas. I didn't know he'd be able to make a pass for the front 2 positions in half a lap.
I'm trying to was the tire going down on Greaves before him and Douglas made contact in the Argonne corner? Because
I don't know. It might have finally just let go. We'll have to hear from them and see what they have to say. We'll definitely hear what they say after this.
Ready. Drive. Fly. Dominate. Celebrate. MagnaFlow.
What is Monster? It's killing tires on the ultimate Gymkhana course. I'm Ken Block, and I am Monster.
All right, folks, just remember, don't go too far tonight. We got RPM on the main stage tonight playing at 8 o'clock. So go ahead, get your chairs back to your sites, and then come on up. Enjoy a great night of music and fun. Again, that's RPM starting tonight at 8 o'clock.
Well, once again, Raceway. Welcome back one more time here at Crandon International Off-Road Raceway as we finish up the Big House Brawl here. And man, that's going to be, I'm really anxious to hear what's going to be said on the podium. This is going to be good. I've never seen two tires explode like that at such a critical moment on the last lap.
Well, what's going to come out of Mark Jenkins? He'll be smiling a little bit. Let's take a look at this race we just saw. The Pro 4. Jenkins is going to be happy. He was happy at Bark River. So what do you think he's going to feel like right now? The green flag through for these 8 drivers or 7 drivers as they hit the first turn. It was Johnny Greaves with the start and trying to check out, and he did pretty much that in the first half of the race. Scott Douglas was back there, and we didn't know just how fast he was. Adrian Cheney, a spin out when he was a little too aggressive into that right-hander.
Dove into the corner real hard, took himself out, bounced off of Mike Jenkins, and wrecked his truck. Both front tires pointed at each other. And in the meantime, Johnny Greaves had a couple of issues, was able to collect himself. Competition yellow comes out, do the restart, and we have a whole new race. And I still don't know why or where Greaves had a tire going down. And it was a slow leak. It wasn't a sudden thing. But here's what I was talking about. They made contact through here. Oh, no, they didn't. No, they didn't, not at all. The Greaves' tire is already down on the left rear. On the white flag lap, he's still struggling to keep that thing together.
But look at third. Look at third. Look at Mark Jenkins.
And right there's where Douglas goes up. His tire just flat out, boom, goes away.
And he's pretty much dead in the water. Jenkins he just has to keep the pedal pressed, and he was going to make that pass.
He couldn't wait.
Yeah, he had to do that, but could he catch up to Greaves? The answer was yes, by 33 1/1000ths of a second.
That picture's going to go down in history here at that track. That picture right there.
Yeah,
wow, look at that.
Probably the closest victory margin ever in Torc history. We'll have to double check with that. I believe we have our podium finishers ready. Down with Taylor. Taylor, take it away.
Thanks, guys. I'm going to start with our 3rd place finisher today, Scott Douglas. Scott, really big moment out there. Last lap, flat tire. Talk about it.
Yeah, we had the trade coming off of, a few laps earlier, but Johnny and I were just having a great race, and I was having a blast. It was so much fun, and I briefly was in the lead there a minute, but that was kind of a dive bomb move, and I knew exactly, he's a veteran, exactly what he was going to do. He's just going to cross me over and take it back, which he did. But it's a blast being here at Crandon. This AMSOIL Toyo Tire Borla exhaust truck really ran good. We had the fast truck today. We just drove the tires off it, unfortunately, and maybe if I was a little more easier on it, I could have held them together. But congratulations to Mark again.
Well, you still got another day to show him your stuff.
Absolutely, and then the big race on Sunday. So it's a lot of fun stuff coming up. I hope you fans enjoyed it. We try and make it exciting out here. This track gets big, spread out, but I was sitting there. I was hungry as soon as I saw Johnny struggling. So, but we couldn't quite get it done, and Mark got around both of us.
Well, big congratulations. You made it up here on the podium today. Give it up for Scott Douglas, everyone. Moving on over to our 2nd place finisher, Johnny Greaves. Johnny, this is obviously one of your hometown tracks too. The fans are really supportive out there, but you definitely put on a show for them today out there in the last lap.
Yeah, I got a good start, and the track kind of surprised me in the beginning, and our truck was set up a little tight, so I really struggled until we could, figure out the lines and get down to some dry dirt, and man, Scott had it figured out right out of the gate, so congratulations to him on that. And then after the restart, there were some big holes out there, and we popped some big rocks, and there was twice I hit a rock going into the Argonne, and my front tire was on the liner, and it was making it a little tough to get around, but it was still holding up. And then on that last lap, I slid into the hole back down by the starting line and blew the rear one off, and it came apart. And I'm like, how are they not going by me? Well, Scott had a flat, and here comes Mark Jenkins, and he was hanging in it the whole time. So congratulations to them. Thanks for the fans, all the sponsors, Monster, Forest County Potawatomi, them Toyota engines, they just run and run and run. Maxxis tires, you know, I'm sorry, ruined your tire, guys, but it wasn't the tires' fault. And, you know, MagnaFlow, God, AMSOIL, everybody who's out here. I know I forget some once in a while, but thanks to everybody, and congratulations to these guys. And, you know, how about Pro 4? We just never seem to let the fans down every weekend.
That's right. What'd you guys think? Good race? All right, give it up for Johnny Greaves. Congratulations. Moving on up to our top finisher up here, Mark Jenkins. Mark, you seem to be on a roll this year. What a track that was out there, and you definitely were able to seize that opportunity. They say anything could happen at Crandon, and you made it happen.
Say where anything can happen at Crandon and in Pro 4 especially. You know, these trucks are a phenomenal beast of off-road demolition, basically, and they chew and eat and destroy whatever's in front of them. And you look at some of these boulders that got kicked up out there. I thought I'd bottomed out my chassis, but really I just ran over a boulder that Douglas had kicked up right in front of me. I didn't know that it happened. So we're playing dodgeball with that thing through the S's going into Argonne for the last 3 laps. It's kind of a moving target for sure. But man, I got to thank the JBR crew, Jenkins Brothers Racing. You know, 2 weeks ago after our win in Bark River, they turned around another winning machine again. We got top qualifier today, so it was fast. And in this company, it's really an honor for me to be associated with the talent in our pits and our sponsors. I got to thank Traxxas, Gentech Water Treatment, AMSOIL, Cooper Tires, Fox Shocks, Impact Racing. You know, it's just, the list goes on. Goodwin, brother, you're making me a believer. We're motoring out there. So, you know, with these guys, it's real risky to show your hand early. Fortunately, I was able to hang in there and seize the moment when it counted most. It's good to bring home win number 2.
All right, we'll give it up for all these guys. They put on a show today, and they're going to put on one for you tomorrow as well. But here's your podium, Scott Douglas, Johnny Greaves, and the man on top, Mark Jenkins.
So Mark Jenkins, his second win in as many races for that matter. So it's good to build off of Big Mo, and he'll have another opportunity to do it tomorrow as well.
Well, he definitely seized the opportunity, and it was there. And you got to be in a position to take advantage of what is handed to you, and that's exactly what he did. He may not have been the fastest truck in the first half of the race, but by 33 1/1000ths of a second, he was in the second half.
Yeah, and an amazing differential there, and it just shows you don't give up. You know, as a father, I keep telling my kids, no matter what, even when they're racing, when they're playing sports, don't give up. It's not over till it's over, and he really pretty much proved that. I mean, I'd love to see the lap chart, see how far back he was 2 seconds, or 2 laps from the end, or even a lap or lap and a half from the end. And he proved that you know, you can make something happen.
Where did everybody go? Douglas is all by himself having a little bit of fun with the champagne.
And some sparkling cider action.
Lots of media was down there, photographers, videographers, and you know what? This is just a little taste of what you're going to see tomorrow. And obviously, everybody is there's Scott hugging. Looks like Mark Jenkins, his wife, and little baby. But tomorrow, definitely another round of points racing for both the pro and sportsman. But I think everybody now is kind of turned left a little bit and is eyeballing that the Cup race, Pro 2 versus Pro 4, tomorrow afternoon is the last race of the weekend.
Yeah, that'll be fun. But you have to give kudos to Keegan Kincaid, C.J. Greaves, as well as Mark Jenkins taking today's victory. Excellent conditions. Hopefully the rain will hold off tomorrow. The crowd, good as always. It's my first time to Crandon, and it was very impressive, and I get to see another discipline, seeing the 2s and 4s at it together tomorrow, which I haven't seen before. So you got to make sure and tune back in here tomorrow. For those of you watching around the world on the Motortrend channel on YouTube or just locally, you could be here and just come and watch it in person. It's a great show.
And once again, I want to thank all the military personnel that have tuned in this afternoon and all day long, on and off possibly. All the fans. I just got a text message from a friend of mine, Colin. I want to thank you for tuning in. It's always cool to hear from you. He's over the big pond and tunes in. He's a big, huge fan of Torc, as well as a lot of people. But I really got to thank everybody for tuning in, because we've been setting some crazy numbers. I guess right now on YouTube, we're second only to Formula One in motorsports.
That's pretty cool.
As far as impressions.
That's pretty cool. The Cup race is going to be here tomorrow. The 2s and the 4s go at it. I don't know about this whole World Cup thing that's going on, but it can't be any more exciting than the Pro 4 finish was here today.
Well, there'll be nobody flopping
of a second.
There's going to be nobody flopping here at the racetrack tomorrow afternoon.
That is true.
But again, I believe we're going live at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. We'll have a full slate of sportsman racing, as well as all the pros and their points races. But then once again, the last race of the weekend, the last race of the day is the Cup race. And they added, I think the total personnel is $30,000. So the guys are going to be very serious about this come tomorrow afternoon.
If you haven't seen it in person, you definitely need to come out in person. If not, watch it online. Thank you for all watching. For those fans that are here in person, those fans watching around the world, you can come to a Torc event. And just like today, right now, they're going to be signing autographs. All of the drivers are going to be signing autographs at the Torc merchandise trailer. So come on down here, see for yourself why these are some of the most approachable athletes in any motorsport, or any sport for that matter, around the world.
So once again, we hope you had a great time. Tune in again tomorrow. On behalf of Robbie Floyd, I'm Scott Rain, Taylor Snyder trackside, and we'll be doing it all again tomorrow afternoon. Once again, we had a great time. We'll see you again tomorrow. Good night, everybody.